start on everything. Yeah, so I will start up my stream here just on this right here. Uh, Let me know if everything looks good.
Yeah.
Everything's running smoothly. Because this is an hinges on that. So let me know if the stream is like laggy or anything, or if it's not working.
Yeah, I think it's working. It's got sound as well. You can hear him talk.
Oh, oh, I didn't think I enabled sound for the stream itself. Okay, my pen is breaking.
Oh, if you're watching on Twitch too, are you hearing yourself?
Um, I can check real quick.
That would happen if you're hearing yourself as well and hearing me double up.
Oh no, I'm not right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I put audio into the stream, or at least my stream. I mean, the one in Discord. Yeah. It, um, I I don't know. It's Lorian's a infinite canvas app that I got, so I could do this. But yeah. All right. Well, I guess we can start now. So I guess you call me Grim. I have been a fan of just general art for since childhood. You know, it's been a thing I love to do. I love to express myself through this and just show my appreciation for these arts. So I wanted to give a little bit of wisdom that I have accumulated over the past few years through this, you know. So I hope you can gain some value from this and maybe some inspiration and, you know, some more drive and affirmation that you're on the right path, you know? So let me load up my notes here. I guess we'll start with why we do art. Why do we draw? Why do we create? All right, that's an important question because it's not what you do, it's why you do it. So let's say, why do we create? Or I'll have a list here. So we can just question ourselves to understand why we do the things we do. Because it is important to get a background of your own inner workings. And when I talk about a lot of this, I'm going to get decently personal, at least with myself. So, you know, just to note that I'm because everything in this is, I'd say, is connected through not just art but through life. All these creative endeavors are intertwined with each other, and I've noticed a lot of things that you do in your everyday life can affect things such as your art quality or the result of what you're doing or any of these possible things. You know, so I would like to have a reason of, oh, why does my art look good one day? Why does it look bad another day? Why do I feel this way? You know, all these different things. And how can I build my own path leading myself to a good place, like for example, I'll reference this now. For example, if you know Kim Jong-gi, he was a great artist, and he's someone that I would look up to. Someone who has aspired greatness. If you don't know him, look him up. You know, he has had achieved such a incredible level of quality on top of having all this success. And I think that's a great milestone to look up for. Of course, it's a big achievement, yes, and it may seem bigger than life. I'll just put his name in chat, guys. Kim Jong Gi, guys. He was incredible, man. Oh, my bad, my bad. My bad. I don't know. Just let me know if my mic is screwing up in any way. I want to make sure that's clear. Um, Matter of fact, I can turn off this setting in Discord to make sure, but you might hear like background noise. I don't know. Let me see here. Okay. Is that good? It should be fine. Yeah. All right. But yeah, that him, he made an incredible path for himself through his life, and it's a great path to look at, to take inspiration from, and to aspire for. But at the end of the day, we all have our own paths in our own journeys. So I think it's good to start with why we create. Why do we do the things we do? Why do we aspire to achieve the things we achieve? So I say, for me, I want to tell stories. That's my thing. That's my inspiration, my muse, I guess you could say. Um, and that's just me. So go ahead and put you in the chat what your reason is, because this is a community thing. I want you guys to be included. Ask questions, speak up, or use your microphone, whatever. All right. Don't think I'm trying to take the whole stage to myself. This is a community effort, and if you want some reasoning behind your mindset or some clarity on anything in what I'm speaking about, then please feel free to speak up. Um, yeah, see, the person here, Haldi, agrees with me with creating stories. Exactly, bro. You get it already. All right, and it's an incredible thing, to be honest. Yeah, want to I want there to be more weird and or funny things in the world. That's awesome. That's awesome. Do it for the glory of God and the love of the game. Exactly, bro. Yep. Visual expression. Visual and expression. That's a powerful one. That's a powerful one right there. All right. And we'll get more on those. So visual expression, visual ex whoops, I'm screwing up here. Expression. Visual expression, and we'll write down a few more. I want to make the same art as those I look up to. That's a powerful one as well. Um, I guess I'll write that down exactly. Actually, no, aspire to be. To be. Yeah. Hey Zoe, welcome. We are talking about the mindset behind your artistic journey, and I guess your journey through life in general. That whole, yeah, why we create. Exactly. Exactly. You got it. Um, Basically, we're just listing some stuff of why we do what we do. So, I guess we can start with. I guess I'll start with myself because I'm most knowledgeable about me. So, and then I'll get on to everybody. Well, there's a lot of people, so I can only get on to so many, but still, we're going to progress through this and go on to every point that I will list in a minute. So, for example, me, I want to tell stories, and many of you may agree with that sentiment um, through my art and everything. And throughout my journey, I have tried my best to do that. Um, And it's hard. It's hard, especially when the people I look up to have such an incredible skill that when I look down at my paper, I don't see the same result. All right, which is a mental blockage in my mind. That's a problem with me. That's not a problem with skill or anything, but it's a problem with my own mental blockages that I'm not happy with my current circumstance. I'm distraught with the result of my art and not focusing on just making it, which we will get onto more later. I have all that planned for us to talk about. But that's my own problem, and I try and strive to achieve a greater skill. But regardless, if I think this today, it's not unlike when potentially I am at that skill, I won't even know it, and I'll think the same way, and I won't be making my story because I'm waiting too long. I'm waiting to, I am, brain fart here, I'm waiting to be good enough, but what defines good enough? What is this construct? We can say, oh, this is good enough. Like I can draw something and like, oh wow, that's incredible, you know? Oh my god, I'm so good. But regardless, that is only a perception of myself, you know? It's my own perception that builds up whether I'm able to do this or not. All right? So, yeah, I'm getting off track. Um, yeah, it can definitely be difficult, especially when you're looking at the result of your art and everything and all that. You know what how do you know? How do you know? Oh, there's there's a logo in the corner. How did you know, bro? But yeah, I'm using Linux. Yeah. Um. Oh, whoops. Did my thing cut out? I should be good. Okay. My Discord said I disconnected, but I think I'm good. All right. Anyways, um, yeah, I want to tell stories. I want to do that, and I'm trying my best to do it. But I think the best way for me to continue is to start right now. And even though I may not be completely happy with my skill level, I have to continue doing it because the best possible teacher is the experience of doing it. The experience of being in the now and creating what I want today. Because there truly is only this moment that you have control over. You don't have control over any of the future. The past is gone. The present is the only thing that's, well, real. So it's all we have control over. And no amount of drawing and waiting and waiting and waiting is going to make me make a story. I have to do it someday, you know, right now. Anyways, let's get on to the next one. Visual expression. Visual expression. Let's see here. Um, so I forget who said it, but somebody said they love expressing themselves through visual medium, which is fire. That's awesome. That's incredible, and that aligns with a lot of what we've been talking about today. All right. So expressing yourself through this medium is a great thing. To be honest, is great. Um, it's why we're all here at the end of the day. It's why y'all are all listening to me talk and everything, because we're all expressing ourselves through this visual medium. Of course, we all have our own reasons, but for the sake of expression alone, that's great. Just having that, doing that for this alone is awesome. And while, sometimes we may have a bigger picture in our mind, oh, I want to do this or that or that or that. At the end of the day, it all comes back to the visual self expression. That's what it's all about. Um, let's talk about this one. This one's really interesting. Aspiring to be like somebody you look up to. Um, it's understandable, and we often idolize great artists, such as as I was talking about Kim Jong Gi, um, and great people who do great things. But I think a little more. I I start to get to know these people, like just based on the videos, and even if they don't have videos of them talking and doing stuff, it is still good to put it into perspective, not to idolize these people too much, because at the end of the day, they are just people who have made decisions, excuse me, who have put in time, and the only difference between you and them is, well, time. That's it. So the only difference between you and the person you look up to is that amount of time. They're just as much of a person and as grounded and probably have as many problems as you do. All right, it's good to try and put it into perspective, to humble your own perception of the people you look up to. All right, humility, guys, humility. As a matter of fact, I'll put that right here. To humble your percep per, perception of your idols. I don't think I did a good U here. Yeah. So, hopeless apologies. You're good, bro. You're good. I'm just, I'm giving, I'm just giving, my general advice. I'm not saying any of your worldview is wrong. As I said, please add on to what I am saying. Please give, um, what any advice you guys have, any experience you have. I'm not like my worldview isn't objectively correct. Take what you like from what I'm saying and adapt it into your own, and then anything else you don't like, toss it away. It doesn't matter. It's all just learning to be yourself, to be your own individual. And we're going to get onto that. Matter of fact, we can do that right now. Basically, I view this as a a extreme prime way to do individual expression. Okay? In, Individual expression is an extremely important thing in this this facet of life. And I think just in general, because I see oftentimes that we may get stuck in a in a sorry. You guys are distracting me, bro. Distracted. I um th- you're getting me off track, bro. My bad, my bad. Hold on. Let's get back. In regards to professional artists just like us, I discovered Matt Rhodes' YouTube channel, an artist I look up to, and discovered his process is very rough and messy, like my process can be. I think some people, including myself, that super professional artists have a really polished workflow, and seeing that not be the case for my idol helped me with my standards with my own art. Exactly. You get what I'm talking about. Putting that vision, trying to put that vision into perspective, because all of these great people have beginnings just like us. Okay, we are no different than them, just a gap of time has passed between you and them. That's all that has happened. And to be able to go back, look at what they have done, and be able to feasibly be like, you know what, I can get there, is awesome. You know, being able to 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 not view it as an inhuman thing, view it as a possibility. It is possible. All right, yo, hey Braylon, bro, I'm glad you're here, bro. Listening to my lecture, bro. That's my friend right there. um, but anyways, let's get back to this individual expression. I think a lot of I see a lot of artists who do art and they do all these things, but it's good to have a framework and, well, an end goal, you know? Um, and bro, who drew this, bro? Mid conversation, you drew this. Okay, you're getting me off the point, bro. Yes, I'm gonna be yapping to you guys for the next 2 hours at least. Get ready, bro. It's over. It's over for you guys. All right. Um. um. So, in Jesus, I am getting off point. So, good fourth cylinder reason that most artists. Whoops, I clicked something else. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Um, why doesn't Grimm include the fourth sinister reason that most artists want to draw? Most artists want to draw their. Okay, never mind. Never mind, bro. Anyways, anyways, uh, anyways, you guys are not as I thought this server was serious. I'm not gonna lie. All I've seen is like serious art and serious people, bro. Sure, I had like a conversation with somebody about frogs yesterday. Maybe not yesterday. It was the day before. Um, and yeah, just about frogs, and they talked to me about frogs for like a solid hour, and that's pretty much the only conversation in voice chat I've had in the server, you know. So that's pretty much sure. I guess based off that, I shouldn't be assuming you guys are serious, but I'm taking this very seriously. I wrote many notes. I've been doing a lot, guys. All right, I've been trying to um to impress you guys. Trying to give you the best possible framework I can. All right, well, thank you, Finster, bro. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate you guys all saying this stuff. It means a lot, It means a lot. And I hope you get some value from this, I hope you see uh get some stuff that hits close to home. He's listening. You know what? Nah, you know what? Just to be a part of the group. uh, but anyways, guys. You, bro, I can't be serious with you guys. I can't be serious, bro. I can't be serious. Uh, um, let's start on individual expression. I'm gonna put my I'm gonna narrow my vision real quick. All right. Basically, individual expression. I think at least for me, you often lose that in the pursuit of greater skill. Because this is a skill. It's a skill, it's a learnable skill, and you can do it. All right. If you needed any affirmation that you can be as masterful as you want to be, then this is that. This is your evidence that you can do it right here. All right. So believe in yourself. Anyways, this thing right here is extremely important, and it's very important to your growth in the long run. To be as high as you want to be. You set your skill ceiling. You set your ceiling of how high you can reach. All right. Your own expectations, your own opinion of yourself is what truly matters. All right. You could have a bunch of people telling you, "Oh, hey, you're incredible, you're amazing," but at the end of the day, it's your own opinion that defines whether you're amazing or not. All right. If you don't believe you can do something, then you're right. But if you believe you can do it, then you're also right. All right? There is no difference between the man who thinks he's wrong and the man who thinks he's right. All right? Anyways, I'm keep getting off of this. I'm trying to put emphasis, but I'm having a trouble wrapping it around into itself. All right, let's see here. to em- it is extremely important to embrace this and to not become a replicator. Okay? All right. Without a doubt, your individuality is the most important skill you have, your important asset you have as a artist, and probably as a person too. All right. It is extremely valuable, and at the end of the day, there's not a single person on this planet who can replicate this. All right, not a single person. Okay, because you, I'm locking in, bro. I'm locking. I swear. Uh, you are your own individual. You are unique in every way. Matter of fact, I have a quote right here. Hold on. Hold on. Matter of fact, I wrote this down. Boom. All right, here we go. I'll just write it down in here. There is not it's getting a little big. Boom. This. There is not a soul on this planet who is you other than you. All right? You are completely and utterly unique compared to anyone else. There is no comparison between you and anyone else. All right? Yep. Individuality in art is, I haven't even explained it yet, and you're getting it. Individually in art is like your personality. You developed your personality based on your experience with other people. So in art, taking inspiration from other artists is like developing personality for your own artwork too. Exactly. All right. It's important to take inspiration to build your own path, because building your own path without inspiration is very hard, because there you have a limited field of view. All right. The path ahead you can only see so far in the future. You can guess, sure, but looking around for inspiration helps you, because you can look at somebody else's path, the path they've walked, and take inspiration from it. Yes, Braylon, you can unmute. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because you guys can talk. You know, if you want to interject, I'm pretty sure you're allowed to use push to talk. Yeah. Um, it is great to take inspiration from another person's path so you can build your own, so you can have a better blueprint to extend yourself forward. All right? The thing you don't want to do is replicate that path, because your path will never be the same as another person's. Okay, their path is set, their path, they're going. You are going too. But oftentimes we stop ourselves from going because we want to emulate this person. All right? For example, I really like a specific animator. There's an animator called Offscript. They make fire. They make fire. If you don't know them, look them up. And their path is incredible because they've got this insane level of skill, and it's immaculate. I've never seen such animation like that before. So I wanted to emulate that, but I never will be able to, because I'm not that person. I may be able to get close. I may be able to get to that level, but I will never animate the same way they do. I will never be that person. I'm always going to be me. And I have to embrace that. I have to embrace my own individuality, okay? Because that sets me apart from every single other person on this planet, All right. If you embrace this and you continue going and getting good and being who you want to be, you will be the next Kim Jong Il. Simple as that. It's not simple, but it takes a while. But yeah, you know. All right. So in this note, I guess, let's talk about comparison real quick. All right. Comparing yourself to others, which we often do sometimes in this. I know I have. I've compared myself to many people. Um, but now I realize that comparison is the enemy of creativity. It stifles your growth. It stifles your expansion, and it stifles you from evolving. Um, so that is why you should try to stop your mind from resorting to comparison. And it is hard. It is hard to get that worm out of your head, and it can be a challenge to um, to take that mental block out. All right, I know it was for me. Okay, but I think a good middle ground is to view it as, instead of comparing myself to other people who are completely unique and on their own path, they are incomparable to me because every single person on this planet is their own unique individual. All right, so instead, I'm going to I'm trying to stay on track, guys. Please let me stay on track, bro. I'm trying. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to. Yeah, thank you for the art, guys. Thank you for the art. I'll never forget this, bro. I'm trying to, instead of comparing myself to others, compare myself to myself in the past. All right. Am I better than I was yesterday? Am I better than I was a month ago? All this kind of stuff, you know? All these different things. Um, just trying to, yeah, exactly. Just trying to beat yesterday's score and everything. All right. And I think that is a much healthier practice than trying to look at somebody else's path and being like, I should be there. All right. It does happen. And I've had it happen before. I have a vision in my mind. I'm producing it. I'm trying my best to go at it. And then somebody does it before me. It's definitely an awful feeling. But I have to realize that I cannot allow this thing to derail my train. It is more fuel for me to continue going. That is all it is. It is just more fuel, more inspiration for my own individuality rather than a crutch and a blockage in the path. All right. Let me ask a question. How did you do it? How did you stop comparing yourself? I think it would help to give examples that ways we might do the same. That's a good question. How to stop comparing yourself to others. I think it can definitely be a challenge, as I said, to exit that mental state and to not have your brain automatically go to that. And it takes time. It is just little steps to try and stop comparing yourself. Um, I think, you know, trying to look at it every time you are comparing yourself, look at it, okay, this person is completely different to me. Even if they have similarities, they are on their own path. This is a different person. Okay? So I need to sit down and understand that I'm on my own path. If I want to get there, then I will get there. I just have to have the certainty I will get there. It's all about certainty. All right, life rewards certainty, guys. Be certain about what you want. Don't be indecisive. Okay. I don't know if that answers your question, as specific like practices, but I think here's a good one. Basically, I've noticed that every kind of almost everything is kind of a form of meditation. For example, drawing. Drawing is a form of meditation. I'm meditating on my ideas, my vision, my individuality. Boom, all that stuff. If I'm doing something else, like I don't know, looking at Maharaga. I'm meditating on that. I'm meditating on Maharaga. All right. Um, I am, you know, I am right now. I'm trying to meditate on how to best convey my messages to you guys, how to best give you guys the proper blueprint so that you can be successful in life, that you can be successful in your art career, that you can be successful in any facet that you choose to live, you know? All right, that's what I'm trying to do, going through my own meditative process to understand that. And in saying that, you can meditate on negative things too. You can meditate on comparison. You can meditate on depression. You can meditate on pain. You can meditate on all sorts of things. It's all a meditative, it all puts you in a meditative state, you know? All right. So thank you, Sky Hornet, for the interjection. But yes, you can meditate on that too. Um, uh, but yeah, I think to stop comparing yourself is a meditative practice. It is something that has to be done over time. Anything that is done repeatedly becomes meditative. All right. Sleeping is meditative. I do it every day. I meditate on that a lot. So I'm doing that a lot. You know, I'm meditating on that. I'm saying this word quite a bit, just trying to get it in your head, guys, because everything can be a form of meditation. And matter of fact, if you want, you can go and do the full thing. Oh, sit down and just experience Zen, I guess. um, I compare myself in a way that I take notes where others are good at and take what I'd like to apply in my own words. Now, I am bad technically, bad with software and colors, but I always remember that I'm new in learning digital art and I won't be good overnight. I sometimes learn things partly in bullets and take breaks often. Exactly. All right. This brings me on to another point is have a good life work balance. Even if you're not working, have a good balance between your own happiness and your goals. Okay? Have a good have balance, guys. Have balance. Have balance in your life. Have balance in, well, art, you know? Having balance in in having balance in my back is no val. Hey, bro, just do some stretches. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not uh but you know, it's all about finding balance within yourself. All right, at the end of the day, all the answers you'll ever find in life, and I'm telling you this right now, if you take anything away from this, it's this thing right here. Every answer in your life, any problem, your your stress, the way, what you want in life, all that stuff. I'm not formulating it well, but all the answers are within yourself. You have to turn inward, and I don't think we do it enough. We don't look within ourselves enough, and it can be painful. Be it can be uncomfortable, but being uncomfortable is where you experience true growth. That's where you level up. That's where you become a better person. That's where you become your truest, most authentic self. you, you guys, I can't be serious, bro. I can't be serious with y'all, bro. I know. How are y'all making memes so fast, bro? This is crazy. Dang, bro. Giving this server some crazy lore, bro. Okay, let's see. This question. What if my art does not look good because I don't draw that often? Because when I draw, I can't because it doesn't look good. What do I do? How do I get out of this cycle? That's a damn good question. All right. Let's talk about that. And matter of fact, that is a point I have pointed out in my notes. Art. We're going to define what art is about, guys. All right. Let's see here. Where is that fucking note? Sorry for swearing. My bad. Actually, maybe I've sworn a bunch just now. I don't recall. Where is it? Here we go. Okay. So your question here is blah, 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 blah. Okay. So basically, let's define what art is about. Art is not, sorry, about the result. It's about, oh no, my phone. Okay, there. Nope, my pen is fucking up. Hold on. Hold on. God damn it. Okay, there we go. Okay, my bad, guys. It's about the process. Okay, this is what we're talking about here. Okay, your question, let's read this again. What if my art does not look good because I just don't draw that often? Because when I draw, I can't because it doesn't look good. To get out of this cycle, you need to separate yourself from the result of your art, because the result is not the thing that matters. The result is not where you experience fun, it's not where you experience enjoyment, it's not what art is fundamentally about. Yes, it's what you see, you know, as a consumer, you see the result, but the process as a creative is more important. Okay, to focus on the fun of just drawing bad art. Okay, to be able to just sit down and draw dog shit. My bad again. You know? All right? Just drawing crap. All right? And enjoying that process, enjoying the process tremendously. The process is what's important, guys. The process is the the um the point. At the end of the day, it's the point. And it'll always be the point, even when you're a master, even when you are are well, Kim Jong-gi level, you will be doing art for the process, not the result. Because, you know, I feel like Kim Jong-gi was so unfazed by his art. Because he seemed very, very calm. All right? I'm going to speak about some stuff that I noticed in his mental. You know, that I just watched some interviews from him and all these different things. Um, basically, oh no. My network? Am I good? Have I been talking? Have, okay, okay. Jeez, give me a scare, bro. Whew. Okay. Anyways, um, uh, basically, in his mental, I saw that he did not. Well, I'm talking about Kim Jong Gi here. He did not care very much about anything, even the result of his art. Just about drawing. Just about the act of creation, not the creation itself. And I think he gained a weight. He said, I think he said it himself. He gained a weight when he gained fame. When he gained fame, he has that weight now, and he can't like his peers are telling him, maybe not peers, but his people he works with tell him, hey, you probably shouldn't draw nudity, even though that's what he wanted to draw. He wanted to draw nudity, but you know, the weight of fame and everything, and people telling him he probably shouldn't draw that, tells him not to, even though that's what he wanted. So I think um, he didn't care about anything, you know, which is extremely powerful. And having that mindset of just not giving a fuck about anything other than this is extremely powerful. All right. Yes, this chat is hard to find questions, guys. It's very hard to find questions. All right, I get it. We're doing all this stuff, but if you see a question, link it twice. All right, just let me know, okay? Because I can't be bothered to read every single thing while I'm talking, guys. All right. So if you can work with me, that would be great. Matter of fact, if you want to use your microphone to just tell me the question, that's awesome too. All right. I don't know if I should be the only person yapping here if you guys want to speak up, you know. Um okay. So, how do you overcome art block? This is an interesting one, and I asked this question to a lot of people before. Like I would post this on social media, be like, "Hey, what is art block?" Because I didn't understand it. From my point of view, it is an individual blockage in your own mental process that stops you from doing individual expression. Um, I think uh, mainly, I would say check your environment. The environment that you're in. Does your environment nurture creativity? Do you do you feel good when you're in this environment? All right. Are you surrounded by positive influences such as either people or art or any of these things, all this kind of stuff. Excuse me. Everything is connected. Okay? Every single thing in this, as I've said, it's I'm talking about a lot of subjects that just apply not just to art but to life in general. So I'm talking about a lot of stuff here. Okay? Um, and I think it's good to look externally to find, is there something that I could be doing to help myself feel peace, to be peaceful, you know, to try and um, to try and I guess try and understand yourself. Okay, because this is all a journey about self exploration. You know, um, yeah, art block is usually isn't universal. Maybe your brain wants to draw something different than your usual stuff. Get experimental and don't be afraid. Exactly. Just don't have fear surrounding the unknown. Okay? Because draw anything. You can do anything. I drew owls the other day. Owls are fire. I never drew owls before. Owls are awesome. You know? Um, and it's just getting out of your comfort zone, doing something different. Now I really like drawing birds. Just completely different thing. All right? I had a revelation. Art is like a roguelike. You do the same run again and again, but yet again, even though you don't keep. Sorry, I'm reading this like a fucking 2 year old. I had a revelation. Art is like a roguelike. You do the same run again and again, but yet again, even though you don't keep anything from your run gets better and better. It doesn't mean you won't have bad runs again at some point, but the good runs get better and the bad ones get more irregular. Yeah, true. True. That is definitely very true. Um, you know, it's a very interesting way to look at it. Definitely, for sure. I haven't heard that mentality before. Um, just, uh, sorry, having a brain block. Just getting, just getting into that loop and everything, and being okay with having a bad run is great. Just getting into it and enjoying it regardless of the outcome. Because as I said, it's not about the result; it's about the process. So being in that mindset of loving the doing of art rather than the result, even though the result may look great, may even be incredible, but that's not what the point is. And when it's bad, it doesn't matter because you're about this. Anyways, let's get on to another topic that wraps into this. Okay, I said we shouldn't compare because we are completely unique in our own individuality. But let's ask, why is individuality important? Why am I talking about this in the first place? Why am I talking about individuality? If you already know, if I already said it, please tell me, because I might have already just talked about it. Um, what are y'all talking about? I haven't. Okay. 7 days. Okay, guys. I don't know why we're doing a sacrifice in the damn chat, but I'm gonna pretend like I didn't see that, man. You have a good luck with your sacrifice. That's your own way of expressing yourself, I guess. But anyways, um, let's see. Why is individuality important? Why is that important to individually express yourself? Well, I think it's important because um, because it is the one thing that you can do that nobody else on the planet can. There's not a single person in this world who who can who can do the exact way you do your own individuality. You have good luck with your sacrifice. Self-expression is important. Hey, bro. Yeah, I'm just here to support y'all. You know, whatever your endeavor may be, go for it, bro. Go for it. um, but anyways, I think individual expression, your own individuality, is your strongest asset because it's what sets you apart from every other artist. And if you want success, if you want to be successful, if you want to chase that that the level of skill and that being that great artist, then go ahead and express yourself in your own individual way. All right? Because that is utterly and completely unique to you. Anyways, why are you telling? I can't help you, bro. You know, eat some more crayons, man. I don't know what to tell you. Stack up. Maybe getting fatter will help you avoid them. I don't know. Bro. I don't know. I don't know what y'all doing, man. I don't I don't know, bro. I don't I find the most successful artists are the one who find themselves. Sure, there's those who get famous by chasing trends, but think about it. Are they really accomplishing? Exactly. All right, they are becoming the a replicator, okay? Which there's nothing wrong with being a replicator. Let's write this down here, okay? Um um what was I saying? I had a paragraph. Can I drag the paragraph in? I might be able to. No, I can't. I can't drag paragraphs in, but I have a paragraph. Matter of fact, I'll just send it in the chat. I don't give a fuck. Uh, there's a paragraph if you guys like to read it, but it comes from the Andrew Loomis book, Figure Drawing for All It's Worth. It's a great book, and that is really what's talking about individuality of expression, um, and why it's important because it's to be a replicator. While yes, viewed by the book, it's terrible, but I think yes, it's tilted 30 degrees. It's a picture. Thank you for noticing. Um, but basically, um, having this individual being a replicator is fine. If you want to, let's say work for an animation studio, all you're doing there is replicating. All you're doing is replicating what already is there over and over and over and over again. That's fine. But if you want to be your own artist, if you want to be someone the person who's making your own show, your own drawings, your own things, then the only thing that's going to set you apart from any other replicator is your individuality. All right? Okay? Replication is fine, especially in the most early stages of your learning, because you have to use reference, all that stuff to gain a grasp of things. But once you get to a certain point, I think it's important to start going deep into your imagination and understanding yourself as a person to be able to create your own visions. All right. Um, so I want to become better at the more common medium of non-pixel, as I am good. I feel good about pixel art. Would that make me a replicator? Should I stick with my unique style of pixel art? No. Um, it doesn't matter what other people are doing. Do what you want to do. When I say replication, I mean taking somebody else's work and replicating it one for one, pretty much. All right, like for example, animation. I'm taking this character Maharaga and I'm making him do a flip. Okay, I'm replicating off of somebody else's vision. All right, I am replicating off of that, and I'm using that as my own. I'm using that as a vision to propel myself. Okay, I'm still not. I'm not using my vision though. I'm I'm separating myself from that. Okay, but I'm using my own expression to do that. You're still using individual expression because not everyone's going to draw that character in the same way. But you are kind of if somebody else is telling you, hey, I need you to draw this, doing this, doing this, doing this in this exact way, you're a replicator. All right. But if you are telling yourself to do it and you're not just tracing or following reference one for one, if you're using that reference in a constructive manner, like taking a character and rotating them in perspective, then you're not a replicator. All right. I would say go for it. Don't stop. As I'm saying before, don't stop what I'm telling you from pursuing your dreams. If I say something that goes against what you are thinking, then it's fine to twist it into a way to where you can continue thinking that way if you think that way is positive. Take what I'm saying, look at it critically, be like, does this really help me in the grand scheme of things? If yes, take it and internalize it. If no, throw it away. All right, that's all I'm saying, guys. All right. Um, any other questions here? And there's a level of respect needed to listen to a podcast and not constantly derail the conversation slash distract the host. Unfortunately. uh, yeah. I know you guys are a bit goofy, especially today, right now. But I hope you guys are taking what I am saying and are being able to understand it. And uh, being able to take my lecture with some heart and understand all the stuff. Matter of fact, if you I have a bunch of notes like I set up I did a lot of work for this lecture, guys. I did this whole fucking this whole web of bullshit for this, man. I did I did a lot of stuff, and I say I've talked about a lot of it, but at the same time, I feel like I haven't, because there's a lot in here that could I could put some points on. Um, thank you, How do you say that? Vespitus. However, I'm sorry for butchering your name, but yeah, Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you, Bud. Bud. Yeah, bro. All you guys, thank you. Yeah, Obsidian, bro. Obsidian. It's fire for taking notes, bro. Yeah, thank you, guys. Finster, thank you, bro. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, you too, Cebu, bro. That's fire. Well, I have a lot planned, but I don't know if I'm gonna get through it all. We're hour 30, hour 25 in this. You know, um, great. Yeah, I can just give you guys the notes if you want. If you have Obsidian, you can just drop that in. If you want it, because I just compiled it all together. I have a bunch of notes that I wrote down on my book, and I just took pictures and put it through Obsidian and everything and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm happy you're taking notes and everything. That's fire because taking notes is important. Taking notes helps you internalize the information. And I've noticed that too. I've started taking notes about a lot of things because if I want to remember something, I'm more likely to remember it if I write it down and say, hey, I want to remember this thing. And then I'll remember it and I won't even have to look at the note. Shit. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Um, anyways, let's see here. Let's go to something I haven't talked about yet. Your own opinion of yourself. Um, basically, your own opinion of yourself. I'll just say the quote. Public opinion is a weak tyrant compared to a man's own opinion of himself. All right. Basically, what that is saying is your own opinion shapes your entire self. All right. It shapes who you are. And praise and everything and all these external factors is great and all that stuff. But when it comes to your own opinion, that is more important. That is more important than a a praise from somebody else. That's more important than any other external source. All right. If you want to be successful, you have to believe in your success. All right. Simply changing your perception of yourself will make a whole world of difference. All right. Changing your inner workings in your mind. All right. I will write this down. Your perception, excuse my handwriting, of yourself is everything. All right. Oh, hey, Gray is here. That's my friend right there. Fire. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Um, if I don't take notes, everything I learn is filed away in brain storage until someone says the right sleeper activation. I know, right? It's crazy. I have to always like put my put the thing I'm learning into action. Okay, whether that's taking notes or just putting, it actually into action. It has to be some form of physical thing I do to keep that mentally in the front of my mind. You know, always glaze yourself. The only one you can trust to believe in you, the way, all the way is you. Your art is always peak if you believe it is. Yeah, if you believe you're the goat all the time, then you're probably the goat all the time. But still, I wouldn't get into a keep humility. I wouldn't get into a super self idealization because if you idolize yourself, you stop your growth because you believe you've arrived. With you know, so continuing to have that student mentality is great because you continue to grow, you continue to expand, you continue to evolve. The moment you believe you're done, well, you're done. That's it. All right. Um, but yeah. Sorry, someone say something?
Oh, sorry, I was testing the push to talk.
Oh, no worries, bro. No worries. If you have a question, then go ahead and hit me.
No, 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 I'm good.
All right, gotcha,
Thank
gotcha.
you.
Yeah, no worries, bro.
No, no, I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, your perception of yourself is extremely important. Look within yourself and find what kind of beliefs have you reinforced over time. As I say, meditative stuff is the types of things that are repeated over a period of time. So let's say you draw over and over and over every single day, you're meditating on that. That's a meditative state. Okay? So what have you meditated on over the course of your life? All right? Are those things that you've meditated on, are those beliefs actually true? Do they align with the person you envision yourself becoming? Where might you be wrong about yourself? You know? All right, next level, self love. Exactly, bro. Yep, self love, bro. Self love is incredible. Do they tell you why your art is shit? If they don't, it's white noise. If they do, learn on what they said, but don't let it affect you. Look at your art in a constructive way. Seek ways that you can improve based on what they said. But remember that your path isn't theirs. Exactly, bro. Exactly. Okay. Of course, not everybody's constructive criticism is particularly constructive. You know, there are people who just say, "Wow, this is dog shit," and call it a day. And but I'm not saying that's everyone. You know, I'm sure everybody here can have constructive criticism and can give, valid stuff. You guys are listening to me and listening to what I have to say, and I assume you are, internalizing or, using what my advice and my guidance to reinterpret your external vision on how you see and view art and all that stuff. You know?
Can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that like it's also kind of important to like kind of consume art because when it comes to like individual expression, when you see other artwork that is like inspires you, that kind of like the reason it inspires you is because there's a certain emotion that art is expressing, which you feel like you could take from or something like that, you know. So like I feel like like when it comes to like the individual expression, on top of the fact, as you say, like, you know, examining where your ideas come from, like kind of putting yourself in like positions where you're like experiencing new stuff could also kind of allow you to do that. um like you know, figure out new avenues of yourself, and I guess, yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree with you. It is great to surround yourself with good influence and good things that elevate your level of inspiration and expression, you know, to surround yourself and consume great media, great stuff. That's what I've been doing to try and teach you these things, guys. All right, that's what you're doing right now. You're consuming the shit I'm putting out. All right. Um, I am trying to
Yeah.
give the best. Yeah. Do you want to add something?
No, no, no. I would say, yeah, I completely agree. That's what you know, like right now we're like exposing ourselves to like new avenues that kind of like confront like ourselves, to kind of like, you know, open that consciousness of like self-expression, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, man. You know what I'm talking about. Like, just surrounding yourself with great art.
Absolutely.
Yeah, surrounding yourself with great art can give you all that inspiration, can give you all that drive to seek this individual expression. You know, all that stuff is great. It's not always about just creation. It's about a balance of creation and consumption. You know, because you can't create if you don't have any fuel to. So consume and create, back and forth, all about that. You know. Matter of fact, I can write that down. You know, you consume and then you create with that fuel that you've accumulated. All right. Of course, you do all of this in balance. Okay. You need to have balance between these two things. Okay. Balance between your consumption and your creation. All right. Um, So, you know, oftentimes we consume more than create. You know, Lord knows I do it too. Because the endless content and the endless internet that we have available to us, it's all, you know, it's all consumption, all that stuff. It's hard to be creative all the time. It's hard to be creative as much as we consume. All right. And at the end of the day, the majority of our lives may be stuck in consumption more than creation. But as much as you can, if you can have a mental balance to understand how to put yourself in a creative environment, in a creative mindset, and in a creative mood, then that's key, because then you can express the consumption that you just did. You can express the all the things you just learned, and all the things that all the information that has come in must go somewhere. All right, because if it doesn't go somewhere, it's going to be
Actually,
forgotten.
if in a way like that kind of like, you know, it makes the consumption not nearly as bad. Like it's not like you're doom scrolling, because you know, like if you consume kind of intentionally, I think you can actually like like you could kind of meld creation as you're consuming, you know what I'm saying? So it's like when you return to the art, you're kind of like um you're kind of applying what you learned from your from your periods of consumption, whatever.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like, um, you know, having that, having this automatically kind of creates balance between the other things. Um, as you have said, you know, having that creation tremendously helps. You know, um,
What
I,
would you say on the when it comes to like content that is absolute trash, like because you know that is kind of like everywhere.
yeah. Like define trash content real quick.
I don't know, like uh, like okay, I don't know if this is a healthy thing, so I'm opening it up to like wonder what you think about it. But let's say, like not only am I talking about low quality slop, but also like art that you just don't like I feel like if you feel certain things like when you're watching something, like you could if you like analyze about it, you could kind of like become a lot more expressive with like or rather you kind of like gain a bit more knowledge of yourself to figure out like what is it that triggers you, what is it that like motivates you and all that stuff. So it's very relative to each person. Um but like like would you say that like it's all right to consume content that you don't like as a as an avenue for like self-expression, stuff like that, like figuring out like aspects of yourself that you could apply to your work.
Yeah, I think it's fine to consume content that you perceive as bad, um, just to understand why you think it's bad and all the stuff about it. Like I may play a game that I don't think is very good, but my friends say, "Oh, this is fire," and then potentially I might enjoy myself. But usually I enjoy myself because of my friends. But anyways, um,
Yes,
like exploring that whole of content consumption is great, but you want to regulate the type of content that you allow into your subconscious. All right, that the type of content that you allow to seep into you. Sure, oftentimes we forget content that we watch, especially short form. You go through it, you scroll through it, blah blah blah. I don't think I would be letting
that is
that
so
into.
true.
Yeah, me too, bro. I don't think I'd be letting that into my subconscious. But regardless, for example, the content that I have curated to try and formulate all this for you guys, it took me a while to find and to curate for myself stuff that resonated with me and specific notes that things that I thought were very powerful and mentalities that I wanted to pick up to improve my own life that I can teach to other people so they can improve theirs. A lot of that content I did not enjoy
Right,
watching,
absolutely.
It's not an enjoyable thing to sit and watch an hour 30-minute fucking lecture, but well, y'all are doing that now, but it's a little
Yes.
more interactive, I'd say. Y'all are
Yes,
doing
yes.
that. But
By
that's
the
that's
way,
what I mean. Hmm?
I just want to like invite other people to like also kind of unmute themselves because there is definitely a difference between like the chat, which is constantly scrolling, and everything else. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah, 100%. Yeah, anybody, feel free. Don't feel any pressure. Just speak up. I am all ears to listen to any of y'all and what you have to say. Please elaborate. I am here to answer your questions. I'm here to try and bring you guys clarity on what you have to say.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I understand. I had to go in and out, by the way. So if you already answered this, my bad. But I understand. Like we should be looking more internally for with our art, outside of like good and bad and stuff. But what if someone wants to like actually be proficient enough to actually like meet deadlines, work in teams, and things of that sort? What would you say about that?
So like studio jobs, like oh, I'm working on illustration, and somebody has a deadline for my illustration. That type of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so I have been fortunate enough to see processes of like, for example, mangaka, the types of stresses and experiences they go through, and it is a very interesting thing, and it kind of comes back to what you're saying. Basically, in those types of situations, um, you are pretty much you are doing individual expression, but you are replacing your vision with theirs. All right. Matter of fact, I will give you a good example of this that I just have on hand. I don't have another one like of somebody else, but I have my own example. For example, let me find it here real quick. It is right in here. Okay. For example, basically, I had a vision for a character that I just pulled up and I drew randomly, blah blah blah, all that stuff. And and I posted it and blah blah blah, and basically, somebody else drew them for me. This is the drawing right here. This is from Rowley, and I am extremely appreciative of this because they took the time to take my vision and replace their and use their own individual expression to express my vision. All right, to do that and have the skills to understand how to express what I have in mind in a constructive way that I would enjoy, because at the end of the day the art is for me, not for them, because you're illustrating, you're doing this job, you're doing it for somebody else, but you have to understand how to formulate, I guess, somebody else's vision in your own individual expression, because at the end of the day you are your individual. And when I say this, uh when I keep saying individual expression, let me define it again. um It means basically you are your own unique individual. You draw this in your own way. You approach the canvas differently than any other person on the planet. Okay, so you have your own way of going out of it that cannot be replicated by a single other person, and that is factual. So, again, I'm extremely appreciative that they took the time to do this. Thank you, Rolly, if you're listening. This is fire, and I will treasure this. Thank you very much. But yeah, that is the way you go about it. In terms of a studio, you would take their vision and run it through your own expressive motion, to if that answers your question.
It kind of answers it. I was just like, when because I know like we're trying to make people not doubt themselves as much anymore, but like, how do you make it that your self expression can be enough to actually work with them, if that makes any sense? Is it
um
just keep practicing until you get it right, or is it just like, no?
I think what you're asking is like you're trying to like you're saying like there's like a difference between like having an actual like art style like that is like unique to yours, but like and how that would conflict, or rather how would you integrate it into a more group kind of project? Is that right?
Yeah, like when you're an animator, you want to use the reference sheets that they have. Like you kind of have like a static look that they're looking for. So like while
Okay.
you are expressing yourself, depending on what your job is, it might not be about you expressing yourself as much as it is about you following the guidelines.
yeah, it's for those kind of jobs, like a lot of the time you have to follow their art style, you have to follow their character sheets, you have to follow their reference, you have to follow their rules, all those things can conflict with your own individual expression, and sometimes you know it may have to take a back seat because, well, you want to make money and everything, and I understand that. But for my own personal beliefs, I want to make money through my self-expression, not through my artistic skill. All right. To be, for example, for comicking, if you are making a story for somebody and they describe to you something, you're still taking your own individual expression and making those poses. And even if they ask you to work in a certain style, you're still taking from the mind. If you have to make anything up from your own individual, then you are individually expressing yourself. All right, whether that expression is for the purpose of yourself or for the purpose of somebody else, it is still expression regardless. I think the why of why we do things is far more important than the what. So this goes back into another thing that I would be talking about. It's a matter of fact, I probably did. I write it down? I doubt I did, but yeah, I did not. Okay, so I'll write it down right here. All right, it's not what you do, it's why you do it. Actually, I did write this down. What am I talking about? I feel like I've did this before. Humble perception. Blah blah blah. Blah. It's always about the
I think you
process.
definitely you tickled the idea before, but like now there's an actual like focus on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. So yeah, it's not what you do; it's why you do it. So you have to understand why are you doing these certain things. Like if you are working for somebody else, if you're working for somebody for their artistic vision and everything, then you are doing it because you're either getting paid or they're your friend or whatever it is, or for the experience. I know some people who are just trying to get mentorships under people, and they'll just work with these great artists that they look up to incredibly, and just try and absorb that information while they're doing work for them. Even if the work is something as mundane as just stacking paper, moving stuff around, all this stuff and everything. Um, it is it it still can be a positive thing if you put it in a positive light. Like if you are truly not happy with the illustrative work that you're doing, and you're like, I feel like I'm trapped. I feel like I can't express myself through this, and art is starting to not be fun for me anymore, and I value art above this financial stability I gain from this job. Then you have to quit the job. Of course, maybe that's not financially responsible, but life isn't all about finances, guys. As much as money is involved in the general system we live in, it is important to prioritize yourself sometimes, because your own individual and your own health and benefit is your own happiness is more important than financial gain. You can be the richest person in the world and be depressed. Anything you wanted to add?
Completely true. Actually, if you think about, I mean, like, mm, okay, so actually, can I just add? No. I'm not gonna take the stage for you. I was
You
just
can add,
thinking of
bro.
like
You can
add.
go.
Okay, now I was gonna like say that like one of the things that has worked for me, and this is mainly because there's some people in the chat asking, is art fun for most people? And unironically, like like it actually connects to exactly what you're talking about, because one of the things that makes art fun for me, and one of the things that always made it like a motivating thing, was that I always kind of created like several projects that, or like mini projects, or like certain art like story ideas or whatever, and it would kind of like fuel like me to like add more to like get better at what I'm drawing, and improve. And in a weird way, it kind of created an emotional backbone for which I like I'm motivated by like improving or just drawing constantly, because it kind of felt like it was for something greater, um or even if it was kind of like not really I don't know how I'll market anything that I'm making, but it just feels like there's like that external motivation. So like basically the reason I brought it up is because like the reason why one draws is it's like I feel like like as you say, it's absolutely important. Like um there's a lot of artists that they will work on certain things, and I believe you said this before actually, and they don't actually have a connection to what they're making,
Yeah.
because there's no why. There is a how. There's a goal. There's I want to improve, but there isn't a why do I want to improve, or why am I drawing, or am I even having fun with this? Like unironically,
Yeah, for sure. Like it's it's really trying to find your path in life. And as I said, if you see somebody who who maybe not even is successful, basically looking at your your the person right next to you. All right, that's why I think this community is so valuable, because you have so many people learning the same thing, so many people with the same passion and drive and motivation all in one place, to where you can look at the person right next to you and have them be, they're a skill level above you, sure, but they are still learning just like you, and even masters are learning, but it's hard to it's hard to see yourself in their shoes. But in somebody who's right next to you, that is powerful because you can learn from them. You can be inspired by them, and they can inspire, and you can inspire them, and all this stuff, and you guys can grow together. I think that community, the people in this are everything. The people are everything, brother. It is incredible, and it's incredible energy to observe and to experience. So again, I am grateful that I am here and that I have the opportunity to be here. I'm grateful to my For You page for putting that damn YouTube video on my page. I would not be here without that shit. So it's just random stuff like that that puts you in the position to do stuff like this, man. It's incredible, and I am greatly appreciative of, well, fate for putting that towards my, aligning that towards me, and maybe that's my own internal alignment, my certainty that I want to speak, um, I want to express myself, I want to meet people, I want to make friends, I love making friends, bro. I want to make friends through this. I want to make friends on this server. I want to make friends in life. I want to talk about art. I want to talk about the things I love. That's exactly why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. I'm talking about what I love, my fucking passion. This is my passion, guys. This is my passion, and I'm trying to express that as best I can. I apologize if I'm getting off the point you were just saying. Please repeat yourself so I can overstand what you're trying to say, so I can, help you with all that. I apologize. I'm getting off track. I'm excited about this. As Braylon just said, bro. I'm spitting my heart out right now.
Yeah, I don't apologize for passion.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I assume that doesn't answer your question. So please give me a quick phrase again about what you're talking about. Sorry.
Wait, wait, who are you talking to?
You you
Like,
you you said
oh, oh no, I was just basically affirming what you were saying. Like, I feel like when there's like a when there's like a reason why you want to make something, it's like more important than the hows, because otherwise you're just doing drudgery, you're just doing work, basically. Um, and I see this in a lot of, personally speaking, like so it's like I'm kind of biased about it, but like there's a lot of artists that will be doing studies constantly, and it's like, and I'll look at them, and they will even admit to me that there's like a struggle there. They're like, why am I drawing this? And it kind of feels like work, and it's kind of hard to tell if they even enjoy what they're doing. Oh yeah, Real Human just said yes. That's literally me. uh, um, and that's the thing. It's like, and um, and this is why I said earlier, um that, like, actually looking, like, consuming art is important, because you're kind of like opening doors as to like why you're into something, and these emotions are real emotions. If you're playing a stupid game and there's something really, it's a dumb game, but there's something in it that's like interesting, like trying to like analyze why you think it's good, and then try to apply it to your thing, because then that's actually how you add the, like, passion back into the studies, because now when you're studying with something that, like, that actually gives you joy, like, oh my god, it's like, oh, this actually gives me an emotion that I actually care about. When you're just doing work, when you're just doing studies, there's no emotion at all in it, so it's kind of like you're if it's almost like you're kind of there's a word that's escaping me, but like you're separating
You're kind of
yourself from what you're
supplementing.
doing.
Yeah, you're kind of diminishing yourself
Yes,
for
exactly,
that pursuit. Yeah.
exactly that.
Uh, I
Oh,
have a
oh,
question.
All
yes,
right, go
yes,
ahead. Go ahead.
absolutely.
Yo, so like, let's say I want to like make this comic series type thing.
Yeah.
If I were to, I I want my characters to be my characters, right? But I also want it to like appeal to an audience.
Mhm.
Like, how do you balance those two worlds?
I'm gonna tell
Uh,
you. Okay, I want to interject here, because I actually said this before, because there was another person here, that was in the chat saying that, like, they made really bizarre art, and they were kind of like wondering if, like, um Okay, no, I don't want to trump. Sorry, Grim, you go first.
No,
I'm
no,
sorry,
it's
you're gonna
okay,
say
bro. All
something.
right. Um,
You're gonna say something.
basically, um, again, you're doing a very, very strong thing with full individual expression. I would focus on that your vision. It at the end of the day, um, it doesn't. You have to think, why are you making this comic? Are you making this comic for mass appeal, or are you making this comic because you love making comics? All right. So think about that and really put together whether you want to supplement your own, diminish your own vision for the benefit of others, or whether you want to go all the way. Me personally, I want to go all the way. For me, I have stories in my head that are very violent, that are things that are not, would not appeal with every
Oh yeah.
person. I love violence, bro. I love murder. I kill off every character, bro.
Me too.
And signs of a psychopath.
Bro. It's fire. It's awesome, and I hope to.
Father Grimm really is a cult leader.
Next time, man.
Bro.
Actually, on the topic of cults, what's interesting about cults is that they literally, and I'm not advocating for cults here, before I say anything, but like think about like what a cult does. It literally makes people like like do something that they would never conceive of because okay, no, this is a really silly thing to bring up. What I'm trying to say, like the emotional core as to what I'm trying to say, is that if you believe in what you're working on, like like if you believe in it deeply and you actually give into it, other people will notice. Like the fact that you dedicated time and effort to creating something that may not be appealing to like a mass audience, it creates like other people will be curious as to why they like that, like okay, so why is this artist drawing this, and then suddenly it kind of creates like this invitation to like actually like wonder, okay, what's going on here. The first time I played Dark Souls, for example, there was a lot of random like decisions in the design that made me go, "Wait, what is going on here?" And that weirdness actually, like, it takes you out of your comfort zone and invites like reflection and analysis. And this is kind of a way to like, and this basically means that like it doesn't matter how unappealing you think that your work is to a mass audience. Like if you believe in it, people are not most people are not psychopaths, right? Most people can feel other people's passion in the thing they make.
May I say
Exactly.
something?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry.
Um, my way to see it is that if you ever encounter, your problem is about making your characters appealing, for example. Um, but actually, if you develop your characters in a world building that goes with your setting, and if you are focused on what you find cool in your setting and why you are doing this comic in particular. Maybe it's because you find the world building awesome, because you think the story you want to tell is compelling to you at least, or maybe you just wanna draw cool shit. It
Bro,
can be
bro.
whatever,
Yeah.
but
Oh no, I'm getting
I
hyped up.
wanna chime in as well.
All right.
uh,
Um.
uh, uh,
Oh, sorry.
Wait, yeah, let's not interrupt.
I wanted to say whether you want, well, whatever the part you are taking it from, there is absolutely 8 billion people in the world that among them you're gonna find your crew, absolutely, whatever you try
Absolutely.
to do.
This
But
is an audience for anyone.
yeah, but the thing is, if you want to make, even if it's just I want to make cool looking character according to me, you can make it cool to yourself and you can make it competent. And if you make it competent, you will gain mass appeal, obviously. And making it competent is just asking you the right question about why do this idea is compelling to me, do your own stuff, and try to consume information or media or references that can enrich it, and ask yourself, okay, why does it work somewhere else, and does it say what I want to say? Does it make my dragons cool? Does it make my character more interesting story wise? Does it make my universe more in the way that I envision it? And the most competent you are in asking yourself what is working as a grammar, even to yourself, to tell the story you want to tell, or to show the cool thing you think is cool looking, or why is this universe compelling to you. If you are learning the grammar to make it competent to yourself, it will be competent to someone among 8 billion people automatically.
Can I build off that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Yes.
So, as someone who is working on my own comic, and I am at least little more than 50 pages in for the first year of just storyboarding it outright, there is a lot of planning, a lot of idea thinking of, and I would imagine that most of you guys have a really interesting story within all of you guys that you'd love to be able to share. And like, the thing is that to be committed to a project, you gotta always keep in mind scope. If you have something that's like, oh, I want this thing to span as long as One Piece, like, you're gonna be probably the person who has to put in all of the legwork to make that happen, and it becomes really difficult as you get more into your own ideas to really reach out to other people to help you sort of go over all of, like, get you are going to come across. It's great to have an art community, though I have kind of struggled to find the people who are at where I'm at to really give like a good advice as to like how to develop a story thing. Because like in an art community with a bunch of artists, we're mostly thinking about the visual aspects. But like there's such a wide variety of different artists that you get artists who are like, yeah, I love character design, and then they'll give you a like their portfolio of character designs all align with something that is more for like a VTuber model or maybe something for a video game and not actually suitable for your own project. So like by all means you can shoot for the stars for like the kind of cool badass character scenes and stuff, but like at the end of the day the thing that actually carries you through is your ability to still like, I'm not sure how to draw this. You go back to basics. All the stuff that you ever learn through doing all the art fundamentals is like, I don't know how to draw a dude doing a backflip off a dragon's face. You go back to basics. And I think in being an artist, yes, there's like the amazing expression part of it of oh my gosh, I can like draw anything. But like you also have to kind of enjoy the problem solving aspect of it, and the problem solving aspect of it is sometimes just draw a gosh darn cube.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
To circle back,
and
uh, uh, what,
Well, you go, Bob.
when the person was asking about like, oh, how much you want to appeal to like certain people, stuff like that. Oh, the appeal. It's super important to like. I need to emphasize the fact that people feel passion, like when they see a project, when they see something, they feel passion. So if you decide to steer your story towards mass market, people will feel that as well. So like, so I don't want, so I just wanted to circle back to that, because it was a question that was opened up, um and the main reason what I wanted to add to that was that people, yeah, people actually. Oh, sorry, I'm kind of jittery. Yeah,
It's gonna.
people understand where passion comes from. If you steer your things towards something else, you're diluting your vision, and and I think you do not want to shoot yourself in the foot when it comes to that, because actually you don't know how much media nowadays is super popular
Let me ask you,
because
can you
Yeah, like
be,
let me.
because they did that. Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry, Grim. Yeah,
no worries. I'll
the
tie
thing
your.
got the whole thing got loose a little.
No worries. I'm
Sorry.
I'm here for the community and everything. I want to hear y'all's perspective, and I see both of sides of perspective. Um, basically, uh, you're saying expression and all that stuff is important as much as the technique and the underlying fundamentals of why something looks that way. You can draw and draw and draw, but you'll never, if you don't understand the underlying reasons and fundamentals behind the picture you're drawing, then you're not really going to get anywhere, no matter how much passion you have. Anyways, I'm gonna let Gray talk real
Absolutely.
quick because they were asking to talk. Gray, you can go.
no, no, that was me.
Oh,
Oh, it was Bray. It
yeah, Spectre
was
Gray.
Bladed Braylon,
Oh,
I
gotcha.
believe.
Oh, she's trying to get a mic
Oh
work.
yeah,
Okay.
only thing about the pill, um,
Hmm.
let me see. It's not really a measurable thing. People appeal to people, so whatever style you're going for is just gonna attract that niche.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, not everybody likes everything. You will attract like-minded people with your work and everything. So, it's a great way to build community because you have this community of people who love what you do, but you also love what you do, so automatically in common stuff. Um, so I will continue on that point until Gray gets the mic working.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's
um,
let's let's, let's flow back to the
yeah.
PowerPoint.
Basically, so character appeal is great and everything, but you need to understand why your character looks a certain way. What is he wearing? If he's wearing anything at all, or they, why are they wearing that? Why do they do this, do that? You ask all the fundamental questions, and you also try and fundamentally build yourself a solid background of skill and everything. Because as much as I'm talking about all of this, fundamentals are still important, okay? As much as, matter of fact, I'll write it down. As much as, whoops, okay, I screwed myself up again. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Got it. As much, okay, so the program crashed. Great. Where did I didn't save any of that. Oh, okay, whatever. I have notes
Oh
anyway.
man,
I have notes anyway. It
no.
doesn't matter. Maybe it's somewhere
Oh, okay,
here.
okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I don't know where I would have saved that. Maybe our projects, infinite canvas. Nope, nothing. That's unfortunate. My bad, guys. My bad. My bad. Um.
So it could
Oh
be
hi.
that somebody made a screenshot or something.
Oh yeah.
So
That I hope, but
Oh,
it
oh
is what it
no.
is. Well, there's the stream and there's the recording,
Yeah, the
guys. The
stream. I
recording.
was gonna say that.
Wait,
Yeah.
actually,
Oh,
this is
thank you.
actually an excellent opportunity to maybe kind of concentrate all the teachings, all things we were discussing,
All right.
so
Yeah.
again everyone's on the same page.
All right,
Um,
gotcha. So we'll go over everything we just did. Um, oh, this the first took a screenshot. Awesome. Okay, so basically, we'll start with
based.
it's. We'll start with the fundamental thing. All right, as much as fundamentals matter, don't neglect. Sorry if my handwriting is unintelligible. I'll write this down in text. The Okay. As much as fundamentals matter, don't neglect the emotional side of your expression. Okay. Um, in terms of uh, that, like, fundamentals are still extremely important. You know, understanding. I like violent. I like my. So I'm getting off track. My bad, guys. I do like violence, bro. I love violence, bro. It's
Oh my
such.
god, I'm kind of
I
worried,
fucking.
bro.
Bro, JJK is one of my favorite mangas, bro. I read that. Well, I didn't read the whole thing. I'm not reading all that crap, bro. All right, but like it's fire. I take heavy inspiration from all that stuff. My vision is very violent, and you know, I have a lot of emotions and determination going on in my story. Hopefully, one day you guys will see it. Who knows? Fundamentals are important. I love. My bad. I'm getting off track. Fundamentals are important, such as your perspective and your form. I think, an extremely important one that we don't talk about is form and perspective. Form is the act of taking a two-dimensional object and translating it into something that looks as if it is a 3D form. At the end of the day, art is an illusion. We are all illusionists. We do this two-dimensional thing and try to illusion our way to make it look three-dimensional. That is the entire goal. All right. So, basically, do not neglect your fundamentals, but don't neglect all the things I'm teaching either. All right, these things are important, and to be emotionally centered is very important as well. The reason I'm teaching all this and I'm not teaching fundamentals is because more people teach fundamentals than they teach this. I know a bunch of people who teach fundamentals. Any of y'all can teach fundamentals. All right, but and this is no offense to y'all, but I don't know how many people can teach this, so I'm teaching it. You know. All right, I'm just, trying to give my best possible perspective on everything, and I will give y'all, I'll try and put my notes into something tangible for y'all soon, and I'll give that anything. Clay, you feed your kids, but never fundamentals. Yes, thank you, Gray. If you have your mic working, go ahead and interject. I'm sure you have a point.
Wait, but looking at my point is like so far back that I don't think it's worth it anymore.
No,
So
no,
you can
no.
keep
Well,
going.
you can
Say it,
talk
say it.
about your perspective.
Say it.
Okay, okay. So basically, back to that thing about like whether or not you should appeal to the masses or to yourself. I actually took like my favorite story and I shared it with like friends and coworkers, and they were all like, "Man, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life." And I'm like, "Oh
Oh,
crap."
Damn.
Then okay, in like a lighthearted way, right? But
Yeah.
then I realized that because I like the story so much, I'm sort of gonna just commit to making it for myself and kind of let go of that like mass appeal. So it's sort of like a trade-off that I'm committing to. But at the same time, there is hope because if you think a lot of the mainstream like animes, they have a lot of very generic like setups. For example, a lot are like superheroes, whatever, right? But what makes them different is execution. So even if your story is like not mainstream and maybe it's not easy for the masses to be appealed to it, you can still use like skill and execution to attract an audience. So there's always hope. Even if you think your story does not have mass appeal, you can still appeal to the masses, if that makes sense.
Yep. That's awesome. Thank you for that little trinket of wisdom. That's really informative. I appreciate that. Um,
I found a story just now that talks about fundamentals. I'm kind of new to the conversation, so forgive me if this is a little bit not related. But I
no
found a
worries.
what's it called? Called a video about fundamentals, and it's like the idea is you do a drawing, all right, and the drawing has something missing that you want to improve. But the thing is that so you go to the fundamentals, but you don't just go to any fundamentals. If you want better poses, you don't go to anatomy. You go to gesture. You don't go to so like if you have bad figures for drawing poses, you go to gesture. If your rib cages don't look correctly, you go to anatomy. If your shadows those don't what's it called look correct, you go to value. So whenever you look to improve as a self-taught artist, you the way of studying the fundamentals is not just throwing them all at yourself. Just solve your problems. I went to And an example of this, I could use this as an example for myself. Whenever I was drawing bodies, I wasn't able to make proportions correctly because I was using 2D shapes. So I was like, I felt like I'd have an easier time if I used 3D shapes in order to make bodies. So I went back to Drawbox and I'm working on the lessons in 3D shapes.
Gotcha. Yeah. So what you're trying to say is basically, take your problem and solve directly that problem. Don't try and solve the generalization of that problem. Like you don't have to study every single thing about anatomy to have proper proportion. You don't have to study every single thing about perspective um, to have proper form. You know, all these things, you just need to centralize and study the specific aspect of where you are struggling so you can overcome that struggle and then get to the next step in your journey. All right, and I think we prolong that process when we study the overarching problem that is, oh, I want to study perspective, so I'm going to study the generalization of perspective, not the perspective that I need for the pieces I am working on. I think if that's accurate.
Hi. Can I ask
Uh,
a question?
That actually
yeah, go.
that very that just before that yeah, that's basically how I also learned. Like whenever I'm working on a project and there's a question mark, I immediately go to like the the fundamentals. And so I was kind of like weaving. Look, I already had the project, so there was already like an emotional justification for what I was doing, but the fundamentals were there as like an added learning aspect. So I'll be working in a piece. There's something weird that I'm not really too confident about. Immediately go to fundamentals, look up references, all that stuff,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
then
Gotcha.
it pick problem solving essentially.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Very
All
much
right.
reflects my process.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate
Zhao
that.
Zhao J Cat.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Um, when I want to draw something, I did not draw halt. Oh, I didn't draw yet. So, something like a body, or as an example, or an animal that I didn't draw. Like, how did I start? How do I start?
How do you start up that drawing from that idea, or do you not have the idea yet?
So in general, I like,
Okay, I,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think I
I don't
think I
know.
see I think I see what you're saying here. So, how do you get from point A to point B? How do you start up a drawing from nothing? You're looking at the envy canvas. Okay, there's nothing there.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
what do I put down? Okay. So, basically, I think it just comes with a general visual library of what you're trying to draw. If you have seen that thing many times before and know exactly what it looks like in your mind, you can interpret it onto the page. Let's say I wanted to draw, I don't know, a cat, for example. I would just start with a general I'm doing a very good job. A general shape, and I would go off of that. And in making that cat, it would be based off of my own perception of what a cat looks like and not actually what a cat looks like. It would be, again, basic shapes. So I would start with what is the most basic shape that object is. Is that a circle? Is that a square? Is that a cylinder? Is that a triangle? Is that a cone? Any of those, I would visualize that. I would imagine that on the page, and then I would just start my line. I would, it's important to just pick a place to start. It doesn't matter where. You can start a character at the foot or you can start it at the head. All right? And that's a good challenge. To start somewhere you wouldn't usually start is a great practice and it's a great challenge for your proportions and everything. Yeah, you can start at the very bottom of your character. You can start at the very top. You can start at any spot. You just need to have an idea and a vision of what you want. I recommend maybe first you can draw from reference and understand what you're trying to do. and then remove that reference and draw that thing over and over in different poses, in different perspectives. And when I say perspective, I just mean rotating the thing. And no matter how bad it looks, you keep going because, as I said before, the um, art is not about the result. It is about the process. All right, it is about the process, guys. About the process. It's it's about the process.
Wait,
Okay.
I feel like that actually connects to what we were talking about earlier because there's a lot of people that don't enjoy art and they'll do the art and they might be even like amazing at art, but they won't enjoy it because their focus is in the
The
end
result.
result. They're not
Yeah.
focusing on the process.
Exactly.
And 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 when you draw without expectation, basically like how a child thinks, honestly, um like you actually are applying the process. You're trying to enjoy that um alongside the actual the yeah the actual drawing, I guess.
Exactly. So it's all about that process, that love of doing, that love of taking action. And that gets me onto another point about love, guys. Love. Love is important.
Philosophical.
All right? Love is extremely important in this, guys. All right? Every single thing in this um, in this facet of life, in this skill, in this creative movement, is all about this. All right? It is simply a matter of love. Who loves it more? And the person who loves it more is probably the one who's great at it. All right? If you all right, put your love and your soul and your heart into this, and you will experience bountiful rewards. um, but yeah, it's about that enjoyment. It's about that love. It's about that process. All right. All right. Yep. Love the game, bro. Love the process of making. Love the all the things that you know. All the things that you do here. All the things that you do in your process of creation. It is it is great, truly, and it's truly amazing to understand why you do it, understand the underlying fundamentals, not just behind the drawing itself, but the person behind the drawing. Because at the end of the day, as I said, the people are everything. You are everything. You will make a drawing, and there's not going to be a single person who has done it like you have in that central moment. All right, you are your own unique
Could I
individual, and
say something?
yeah, go ahead.
Uh, just what you said about love and loving art. I don't know if I'm the only one who does this, but I feel like oftentimes I compare myself to others in terms of how much passion people have for art, and that is something that makes me feel insecure about myself. Like, do I actually love art as much as all these other people that I'm seeing who are putting so much passion and like training every day, and it feels like all that they do is art every single day, every hour or whatever the media they consume and stuff like that. And that I feel like me seeing how much other people love art
Mhm.
like makes me self-conscious. I don't know if that's something you've
Oh,
experienced before or have advice on.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's really powerful what you're
We were
saying.
taught we were
Yeah,
talking about this
yeah, we were
earlier,
talking about
actually.
comparison and the act
I've
of
actually,
why
I've actually
comparison.
got what's it called? Honestly, sometimes just it is. I think I might not have as good of an idea about this. Is that for me? I felt like I wasn't what's it called? Oh, good enough until because I didn't have well, I didn't spend as much time on art as I did now. But I didn't what's it called? Oh, start to love art more by what's it called? Well, saying I should. I I s- I learned to love it. And also, oh, this is not it's also partially chance because it's chance that led to me quitting video games. And it's like every- whenever it's not about you love it, about how much you love art and just it's not about the amount. It's just about you loving it in the first place. Like I loved art, but my love for art grew as I drew more, as I wanted to learn more, and especially as I joined Marsh Hotel because as it led to me not being because I have such a strict schedule and I want to finish drawing, but I can't. So then it makes me look forward to drawing even when I can't.
Oh my
Mm.
god, so freaking true.
Yeah, that's fire, bro.
Wait, sorry, I don't
Yeah, go
mean to
ahead, bro.
interrupt you, but I
Don't worry about it,
really
bro.
just I have a burning passion for this because
Oh yeah,
one
me
of my
too, bro.
favorite artists, and I want to show an art piece that perfectly encapsulates why like that exact feeling that I got when I saw it. So this is artist called Victor Quaresma. He's one of my favorite artists of all time, and he like when I he not only is the actual work that he does incredible, but it's also if you zoom in, you could literally see his pencil strokes. You could see you or not pencil strokes, right? It's all digital, and it's like you literally see so much of the process. But what motivated me about what was insane to me and what kind of took away the I just posted the artwork in the side chat. What
Okay.
motivated me to not feel like self-conscious was when I zoomed out. And if you look at the horn, if you look at the horn, you could see that there's just very little detail happening there. It's just like the detail, like there's some parts that are clearly more polished than others. And this to me really encompasses like like um okay, so I was gonna
Yeah.
go somewhere else, but it shows you that it's really about confidence. It's not about like necessarily how good you're drawing. It's about knowing when, like, where you want to add uh, a bunch of uh a bunch of work. Like if you look at this piece, you could tell that where he put his passion in, and then where it was still there but not nearly as strong. Like the horn literally gets less and less detailed the further and further it goes into the darkness,
Yeah.
and it really is just about confidence. Um um and 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 so when I looked at artworks like that, um instead of thinking about it like externally, like making that comparison, I thought about it more internally. I started going like, okay, so maybe I should be more confident about where I add detail, where I don't add detail, and all that stuff. And then
Yeah.
that kind of added like that made me stop really um worrying about that kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I
To
hear
the
you,
nose
brother. I
question?
hear what you're saying, and that also has been taught to me. I've been looking through tutorials. I've been doing some like dynamic sketching and stuff, and it is about, well, that is the fundamental of the focal point. Basically, you choose a focal point of your drawing and you focus your energy and passion on that, and everything else takes a back seat. Everything else is less detailed and is just only implied that it exists rather than put into full detail. And I think not enough people do that because
Yo, I got a
at the
question.
sure, let me
Finish.
wrap up
I
real
want
quick.
you to
Wait, wait,
finish
wait, wait, wait,
first.
wait, wait.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Let him finish.
yeah. And basically, you put all your passion and love into this area, so then everything else, you're guiding the viewer to look into that specific area. You're guiding them to see what you're putting your love into, and that kind of puts me into another topic, which is about kind of the formula of art. You were talking about confidence, and yes, the formula to become a great artist is really just plain old courage, standing on one's own 2 feet. That's all what it's all about. It's all about standing up for yourself, being able to make a confident and conscious decision for you. That's what it's about. Anyway, you can go, bro.
All right. So now my question is, how can I combine practice and creating? Now, what I'm talking about is the Drawbox 50% rule. Now,
Oh yeah.
I believe in it because it makes sense to me. Like, if I, what's it called? If I spent too much time practicing, I'm going to forget how to create and I'm going to get scared, which he
Yeah.
says, and I agree with. And if I don't practice at all, I'll know how to create, but I'll what's it called? Not be able to articulate as well.
Okay. I have a great solution for this actually, and I have some examples. That if I can find them, right here. Matter of fact, they're just on my phone. I'll just send them into Discord. Basically, I have been doing studies on organic forms and such, and I've been learning that and trying to learn best how to represent form through contour and everything. And of course, that's irrelevant to the topic, but basically, I you want to express yourself, correct? Through that, you still want to draw what you want to draw, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also I'll say this: it's that like, for example, I'm on lesson one, and one of my assignments is to draw boxes in perspective. Moving the vanishing point around and stuff.
Yeah, gotcha.
I want to do that, but also I want to work on a lot of Marsh Hotel stuff. I I just missed a few quests because I just took the ACT today.
Yeah.
So I so it's like I want to do a bunch of March Hotel stuff, but at the same time, I want to work on my form so I can draw think of humans in 3D so I can draw characters better.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, you're going to try and combine both your love and passion for drawing with your learning for drawing. Matter of fact, I'll post some examples. They're not great, but they are examples regardless. These right here, if it would fucking send. But there we go. Basically, it's me. I'm studying form, and you can see I'm just taking my characters and squashing, stretching them. That's all I'm doing. I'm putting some in perspective. I'm doing that kind of thing. And all of that is basically just taking what my studies and making it much more fun for me because I'm still drawing what I want to draw, but I am moving it in a way to um, to appease myself, so I can still have my own love and passion for it, so I can grow and expand, blah, 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 and still express myself individually. You have to find a way to be creative and take the study and interpret it. You don't have to do don't stick to exactly what it says. As I say, for me, don't stick to exactly what I say, but interpret it in your own way to use individual expression to learn the thing. That's exactly what I'm teaching here, and that's what you should do with what I'm saying and what anybody else is saying. You interpret it in your own
Wait,
way to transform it for yourself.
I want to add to that because
So I can
like
make a character out of boxes to learn even more about boxes.
Exactly.
no, yeah, literally, actually, that's actually a great idea. Ironically, um, I was gonna say that like because I said this before, like a way that I kind of study a lot of the things that that I like studied like whenever I'm seeing a reference and I want to study that, whenever I want to study certain poses, I always try to like I know this is kind of a different example because we're in the Marsh Hotel, so there's like certain expectations for things you want to do, like there's certain quests that have like defined attributes, but I always try to, whenever I'm working on a project like a artwork that I really want to do, whatever, or just like a character design, I always try to apply, or rather like it's not actually always, but often I would just go like, hey, fuck it. Oh sorry. So oh my god.
Don't worry, bro. Don't worry.
Screw it. I'm going to draw. I'm gonna study texture. I'm gonna study this. I'm gonna study perspective here. I'm gonna study dynamic gestures in this piece because why the hell not? And it adds like an extra layer of like, you're combining an external learning aspect and then the internal emotional stuff, which is the true motivator for actually making art that you're satisfied with. And on that topic, I want to bring like I bring up that artist that I pointed out because clearly an insecure artist would try to refine the horns. Like the horns there are not detailed, or not nearly as detailed as the main part of the image, which is the face and all that stuff. So it really is like you want to have fun with what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You do, and if you just do it, and you kind of have that like external like motivation to make it a perfect drawing, you're doing it wrong because the fun aspect should definitely be like paramount, as well as the education, in my opinion, is secondary, but like it's necessary, it needs to be there, regardless, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, I got you, brother. You know, it's definitely about all that. Like that, that confidence. As I said, the formula. You just need courage to stand up for yourself, to be your own artist, to grow into your own shoes. You know, to understand, well, overstand yourself, all right, and how you can express your own courage, how you can feel comfortable. For example, I will express right now my thought process into going into this lecture and everything, and I'm going to be pretty vulnerable while doing that. So, you guys are going to hear a version of me that
Judging.
haven't yeah, you guys are going to hear a version of me that you haven't heard before. Basically, for the longest time, I have been trying my hardest to be more outspoken as a person, and I have been failing miserably. Um, and it has taken a toll on me mentally because I'm just like, why can't I go out there and just speak to someone? I want to make friends. I want to be outspoken. I want to be an upstanding person. I want to be confident. All these things. And um, it's just I have seen a severe lack of that in my life because of the lack of people around me, the lack of friends, the lack of social interaction, all those different things. So, in saying that, um, in here, I assume you would never have guessed that. All right, I've told people before that, and they're like, I don't see you as particularly underspoken. And it has been surprising to me to see that perspective from somebody else's. And then I realized that it was my own perception of myself that was stopping me from being the person I envisioned myself as, from being confident, from being outspoken, from being someone who makes friends. All right? And to simply change that perception of myself has greatly helped me, and in doing this. That's why I'm doing this now. I aligned myself. I This opportunity arrived for me to speak here today because I had what's the word? It's not clarity, it's I had certainty in my path in life. I had certainty that I will be outspoken, and today I'm doing it. So, it can be applied to art as well. Be certain about yourself, be confident in yourself, grow into your own shoes. It is all about being your own individual and expressing yourself in your own individual sense and understanding why you're expressing yourself. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Um Anyways, let's go through some more cuz I still have more notes, guys. I haven't gone through everything. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we're almost at 3 hours at this point. Uh
Jesus.
I could talk more, bro. I could talk more. I almost don't
I
want it
could
to end.
talk as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I appreciate your opinion, bro. I appreciate you talking with me, bro. Um,
Yes. Turn to focus the conversation here.
yeah, thank you guys, bro.
Yeah,
So thank
Goop.
you so much,
Wait,
bro.
wait, wait. Just let's continue with the notes for a bit because Goopish wants to chime in, but we should probably focus a little bit more,
Yeah.
and we'll get questions later.
Yep. I
Yeah.
will focus on a note. Let's see here. What have we not gone over yet? Let's see. I'd say we haven't gone over. Um, I guess care. Placing your care. That valuable emotion. Care is a strong and valuable emotion, so you should be wary of what you put care into. All right. All right. Care is not neutral. Where you direct it shapes your creative experience entirely. All right. Placing care into, for example, result of your art can easily stifle you because it creates expectations, and expectations are fundamentally something that creates disappointment when you don't meet them. All right? So place your care into the act of making, the act of creation, into attention, craft, presence, and movement. All right? I've oftentimes placed.
E- e-
Hmm?
Expectation also leads to self-analysis and kind of like a lot of stifling of your own like potential because of that. You're only thinking about others, like, like how you're being perceived, which is it takes away from the internal
Exactly.
as well.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't want to have expectations, guys. You want to keep your expectations as minimal as possible so that you can exceed them, so that you can be better, so that you have permission to grow. The moment you set rules for yourself, you're immediately limiting yourself. You're limitless, all right? And in terms of, you have endless potential, all right? As a person, as a being, as a human on this planet, you have limitless potential. You can do anything, all right? You just need to stop setting rules for yourself, because if you set these rules, now you're limited, all right? But anyways, let's get back to care. For example, if I were to place care into something like, I don't know, having more social media followers, um, then likely I put effort and time and presence into that, I probably won't get it. I probably won't get those followers that I care so much about. All right. I'm caring about it. I'm putting time into it, but I care too much about the number that I'm stressing over it. Distorting why I'm posting. I shouldn't be posting because I want followers. I should be posting because I enjoy sharing what I've created. All right? Simply for the act of sharing, not for the act of gaining from it, gaining followers and all that stuff. All right? R- Placing your care into specific facets of your life is extremely important, so you don't put care into the wrong spot and then are wondering, why am I not successful? Why am I not as good as these other people? All right? So it's all about being mindful with where you place that emotion, and many of your emotions, to be frank, all right? And to be honest, it's sometimes hard to control your emotions. It's hard, all right? But when your emotions can get out of control, when they, you're scared, you're hurt, or whatever other emotion, it's good, excuse me, it is a top-notch quality to be able to see that emotion and to respond to it, but not react to it. All right, the moment you react, you lose your ability to make sound decisions. I apologize for getting
Or
off of
rather,
art, but
oh no, no, it's actually very important because like if you're reacting to like react like let's say you get a reaction for a drawing and then you react to it, you're letting that kind of like
influence
like
you.
yeah influence you when you should be thinking about passion work.
Exactly.
And the thing about passion work is that there's always a chance you won't get that many followers, but the followers you do get actually understand you deeper because you're actually putting a lot more of your like you're putting real emotion or real passion into what you're doing, so the people that actually do follow you will actually understand like this actually there's a bit more understanding and more communication and more interaction. um um whereas you could always do the mass appeal thing and you might get a lot of followers, but it would just be it would just be numbers. um and that's
Exactly.
totally fine if you just want to get like market like the benefits of that. But there's always the risk that you will be making art that is kind of soulless to you, and you know it just creates that like separation. It just feels like work. There's always that. Yeah, it was continued.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree 100%. It is that emotion and everything placed in the wrong place for the wrong reason that creates this resistance in your life. Um, Basically, you only have as much potential as you allow yourself to have. You can only do as much as you allow yourself to do. All right? So allow yourself to do anything. Allow yourself to be limitless, and you will have limitlessness. Okay, it's it's something I can't just tell you and you do it. All this stuff has to be placed in practice over time. As I said, it has to be put into a meditative state. Meditative state is anything done repeatedly, whether it's positive or negative. I go to sleep every day. I meditate about sleep. I sit at this fucking desk and and do shit on my computer every day. I'm meditating on my computer. All this different stuff. You know, so put what I'm speaking about into a meditation so that you can internalize it, you can believe it, you can have it in your nervous system, you can have it in your subconscious. I think that's extremely important. Anyways, if let's see, do we have any questions, guys? Anything?
I low key want to start drawing, but there's so many quests plus what's it called? My Drawbox practice that I want to do, so I don't know where to start.
Um, well, you can you can well
Yeah,
it's mainly just draw for passion, brother. I get, like for example, I was doing a course on dynamic sketching and I've put it on hold because I want to do this and I want to draw stuff for this challenge and I want to draw stuff for a comic. I've put it completely on hold because I can always do it next week or the next week. I don't have any time limit on it. It's just videos. So, it's whatever you are in passionate. I'd say value your passion more than that. It's good to have discipline for what you're doing because you want to seek improvement in everything. But doing art for the sole purpose of improvement is not the way to seek improvement. You're not gonna improve with that mindset, brother. So the
it's
best
it's it's
improve.
it's it's important. It's important supplemental, like something you add onto, you know, the more internal stuff.
Yeah, if
But
if you never put
yeah,
your the things you learn into actual practice with what you want, you're not gonna get anywhere. So do what you want, bro.
I'd say follow the passion. But I mean, again, if you're expect that but remember what we were saying, like expectation kind of stifles a lot of like passion and stuff like that. And
Exactly.
when you're doing like draw box and all that stuff, it does I mean, it's very important, especially if you're having fun with it, but but you need to be cognizant that it is an expectation you're adding to yourself, and which is self-imposed, so like, you so it's really a matter of balance of how much you want to balance that and your more passionate artwork.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%, bro. 100%. Um, I guess I will put on the next note here. We can talk about. I guess this adds on to the point. Our limiting beliefs. Oftentimes, we hold ourselves back from achieving goals and desirable outcomes, telling ourselves that we can't do it, it's too hard, or I'm just not the kind of person who can do this. All right. There are many limiting beliefs we place on ourselves, but oftentimes we um, don't understand what they are or why they're there. A lot of limiting beliefs can be past tense, stuff from your childhood. I know I have limiting beliefs about my existence from childhood and I don't know why they're there. They're things I have to dig deep to find, to pull out, and to understand why I have a limiting belief about this thing. All right. And try to change it to be more positive, to be able to get out of that trap and to be more, have more potential, have more limitless potential, as I'm saying, you know? All right. Basically, the resistance that stops you from doing a lot of things comes from or sorry, the resistance creates limiting beliefs. When your mind perceives there's a large gap between where you are now and the outcome you want, it generates a meaning for that gap. And the meaning is almost always negative. All right? So your mind will express limiting beliefs as a reaction to the observation of the gap that is between you and the person you want to be. All right? So understanding that you should try and uh, put yourself in a third person perspective and understand, hey, are these beliefs that my mind is spitting out, are they actually true? Do they reflect myself? Are they what I truly believe in? Are they positive, which they're probably not? And Do they help me in the long run? All right. Do they help me be the person I want to be? And usually they don't. Okay. To get through this gap of the gap between who I am today and who I want to be, it is about mental shifts. It's about shifting to the belief of the person you want to be. All right. Let's say I want to be an amazing artist. I want to be an animator. I want to be someone who makes their own stories, who makes their own shows, who expresses themselves in the most raw, unfiltered manner. I have to act like that today because, as I said, there's kind of no tomorrow. You know, like the future is only a concept, a human concept that we made up. There is only now in the present, so I have to make changes today to have change tomorrow. Um, any questions, or you won't continue, or if
Let's
there's any,
continue.
huh?
Yeah, I think we could continue.
All right, gotcha. If anybody wants to speak up, go ahead. If anybody sees any questions in chat, because I can't read all this chat, y'all are talking about something completely unrelated. But regardless, um, uh, link to me all the questions. Either forward them to me, um, or just reply to them so they appear at the bottom, so I can read them and go through that stuff. Um, all those things, so I can, you know, uh, talk about it. Because the more questions you guys ask, the more clarity we'll all get. Pretty much. All right, you ask a question, I can elaborate on it, and then we can both gain from that exchange. Anyways, if nobody has
I
anything to
just
say,
got a comment. I just have a comment to make.
all right, go ahead.
I realized that I'm doing a study, and the thing is that one of the quests is to design a literal box. So then I draw the box, and then I notice how much better my boxes have gotten.
Oh, awesome. That's fire, bro. That's fire. Yeah, it's all about that, brother. It's all about that, expressing yourself, just being you, man. That's awesome. Um,
I
Uh,
could I expand upon that last point that you made about like kind of the mentality that guides us through our art process?
yeah, go ahead.
I just want to. So it really relates to me because I've been in this like circle of fear and kind of like being stuck, and art and like looking at people you look up to can be like overwhelming because you're like, oh, how can I be a master at this, because they have the perspective and form and color theory all on lockdown. And I think it's important that though all those thoughts can be like really overwhelming, those can also be goals for yourself, and it's about switching that perspective from, oh my gosh, there's so many things that I have to do, to being able to break it down into small, obtainable goals,
Mhm.
steps forward, because you will be in a different space when you are taking those steps and working on your art, instead of being in this constant cycle of like, I can't do this, I don't know where to start, I don't know where I should focus my talents on. And it's all about bringing that down into a more obtainable thought instead of letting it be overwhelming.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It's all about putting it into a realistic state. In improvement, um, I want, you try and make everything you want achievable. For example, I want to make comics and stuff. I want to do that, so I started doing it. But I'm like, this is going to be really challenging to draw all these complex characters in all these complex perspectives over and over and over. So what I did was I simplified every character into basic forms, and I gave them sticks for arms and legs. And that's what I did. And I've been drawing that perfectly fine and having good challenge with my framing, perspective, composition, and all that other stuff. But on top of that, I'm having a good time because I'm not pushing myself too hard to try and draw these complex characters. Framing it in a way to where I can do it and I can still achieve my dreams. You know?
and also, it allows you to focus on storytelling more. Like use
Exactly.
like what's it called? One.
Yeah. Exactly, bro. You got it. Um, Anyways, Quarks has a question here. How can you work on lowering those expectations you mentioned? Sometimes I will draw something great, but then that raises my expectations for my next piece of art, which makes my next drawing worse, you know? All right.
I actually answered this. So can I read my answer?
Oh yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Or rather, this is just my interpretation. So it's just it is what it is. But I said that I think it should be tempered and balanced. Like that expectation is a very it's a very legit, like your feelings are legitimate. I know it sounds like kind of like ooh,
Well, yeah, you're
spiritual,
just
but it's so
validating their
true.
feelings.
And so like when you feel something, when you feel like your next piece should be better, that is a valid feeling, but it's also, but you need to be cognizant that it is an unrealistic standard. So what you should do is that, like, you could actually try to actually make the next piece the best, like the better than the last one, which you could absolutely try to do that, but you have to be completely comfortable in this in not disappointment, but like
In
that not working
Yeah, and
out. You know what I'm
failing to
saying?
reach those
Because
expectations.
exactly,
Yeah,
you need to be comfortable with that.
yeah.
Um, and I actually could say this because last year, um, um, like I actually tried to do exactly that, where every next piece that I was gonna do is gonna be better than the last one, and I actually did a lot of crazy like art that I was really proud of. But but it was unrealistic, and it eventually did burn out. But I never really like got hung up about it because I was like not even when I was doing the pieces themselves, sometimes I would just straight up stop working on them because I just kind of lost interest. But other other times I would actually just redo the piece several times. And that in a way basically being comfortable with failure because my first draft is not going the way I wanted to, but I'm gonna do it again. It doesn't matter. And really putting yourself in that state where you can just restart or do radical changes is ideal. And it basically is a solution to that problem. At least personally speaking.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, man. And that is a great mentality to have. Trying over and over again to achieve that goal and understanding and expecting failure. That's awesome. That's not how my brain works because I don't. Um, for me, when I draw something, I draw it pretty much once, at least in that mode of perspective and everything. But eventually, when I draw the same thing a million times, eventually I'm going to repeat it, of course. But yeah, like for me personally, I try to, as I said, not focus on the result. But I try to for my pieces, whether they turn out good or bad, I try and keep my mind humble in the fact that whether this turns out good or bad is irrelevant to me. I it's my own opinion of the art piece. It doesn't really matter that much. Of course, when it comes to showing people, maybe I'm not very proud of the piece, and if I show someone, then that may reflect in my mood at the time, but and that may reflect in other people's opinions as well. But regardless, the drawing is the point of it for me is not to relay a final piece, it's to relay a emotion to myself and to for my own self-enjoyment. Of course, as I progress on in my art journey, it may shift to what you're talking about. For that final piece is important, I'm going to show it, I'm going to use it for things, blah blah blah, yada yada. But at the moment, I do not have that um, kind of I guess expectation to use my art piece for anything other than enjoyment.
Oh, just to clarify, the I actually enjoy like making the next piece. Like there's definitely a motivator. And even when I say that, like I'm also referring to my own standards because like when I make a lot of designs, I tend to do pretty weird designs that I know are not really necessarily like mass appealing. So it's like I'm not. It's also important to like when you're trying to make the next piece better. I'm just trying to clarify what I said. When you're trying to make the next piece better, don't try to do it for other people. Like do it for yourself. Is what I'm saying because it's super important because then you get bogged down into oh how's this performing or all that stuff and that's not good. In my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, Sajal Kare, I'm butchering their name, but has a question. I have been drawing for 1.5 years, but now I don't know what I should draw all of the time. I have all the time. Sorry, I'm butchering this. I have been drawing for 1.5 years, but now I don't know what I should draw. All of the time I have spent drawing has been on doing the fundamentals. I do enjoy practicing fundamentals. My skills are pretty bad, but I still want to shift from the technical side of drawing. This is something I've talked about
I
before.
have two what's it called suggestions. First of all, take a break. I
Yeah.
say take a break. And second of all, stop practicing. Because what's it called? You took said that what's it called? You've been drawing for 1.5 years, but what's it called? You've been just practicing and practicing and practicing. Because of you've been practicing so much, you have been so focused on getting better that you forgot to draw something that you enjoy. So I say take a break and find something that interests you. Because whenever you take a break, that's when inspiration comes. And when inspiration comes, that's when you'll start finding out what you really want to draw. And when you find what you really want to draw, that's when you'll know what you need to do to improve in order to draw that thing better. Let's say I've just been practicing figure drawing for a bit, but I don't know what to draw. Oh yeah, next. So I take a break, I go play some soccer, and then I realize, low key, I like soccer. I'm gonna draw soccer manga. So now I need to learn how to draw soccer players' equipment. I need to learn the anatomy of soccer players, how big their calves are, how to draw soccer players. I need to learn how to draw cleats, and all those different things. That inspiration comes whenever you take a break and also whenever you stop drawing, just drawing, practicing, and drawing what you like.
Exactly.
I actually
No.
want to interject a bit and offer like an alternative like kind of question because I feel like some people don't even know what they like or what they even want to draw, which I've seen a disturbingly amount of time, and and I would say if you want to find out what you want to draw, like I recommend literally thinking like a child. I'm not even kidding. Think of the dumbest thing that you think is cool. Like think of a video game you played that actually gave you joy, or a show that you watched, and in a way, kind of like deconstruct why you even liked it to begin with. And I feel like when you do that, you straight up start like actually like think like putting passion back into what you're like your entire life history or whatever, like all your experiences, you're putting back that into it because you're actually, you're thinking, okay, okay, so I'm doing all this work. There's very little. I mean, I have a lot of fundamental skill. There's an education happening here, but the passion isn't there. The magic, the will to create is not there. And I feel like the reason why is because you're burying your child. You're burying the stupid the stupid ideas. You're burying that in layers of studiousness and academics and all that stuff. And one of the basically to encompass and kind of close what I mean, when you want to find out what you want to create, try to think of what would you want to watch if you were like a teenager or a kid, like or like what kind of thing do you wish always existed, and
What
it's
was missing?
yeah, yeah, exactly. And especially after all the academic stuff, because now you literally have the power to actually manifest that into the world. Um, like thinking about that now is even better. It's even more uh powerful. So yeah, that's what I would say. At least when it comes to like, oh, I don't know what I want to create. Like if that's the problem, if that's the core problem, I recommend that. kind of mindset. All right, stop.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Um,
Like Grim over here, he likes violence because he watched all this anime.
exactly.
He's like, fuck it, I love violence because he
Bro.
like that's literally the thing he grew up watching, and he's kind of like I feel like you're pairing your child what you love to see into like your work, the actual work that you're making and stuff like
Exactly.
that.
I have an idea. Look at a piece of media that you like and look at what you feel like it's missing. For example, for how I came up with my cinematic universe, is that I looked at MHA. I love the power system of My Hero Academia. But what I don't like about it is that how it barely fleshes out America. Amer- and I so what I did is that I first made it. Now, to be fair, I'll be completely for real. I use ChatGPT to organize my thoughts, which I don't plan to do going forward. But what I did first is that I decided to try doing an MHA spinoff where it's based in America. And because America has stuff like the Second Amendment, quirk use would be more lax compared to Japan, where you need a hero license and to use your quirks to fight bad guys, which is why civilians are not allowed to fight bad guys using their quirks, as shown in My Hero Academia, Vigilantes. So then I was like, well, if the US has Second Amendment, they'll allow, oh
Unironically,
what's it called? So,
that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I'm not gonna
Bro.
lie, but that's actually why it works. That's
what's
literally
so
why it
stupid
works.
about it?
I'm not kidding. No, I was no, bro. Don't worry. I'm being blunt. What I mean is that you're thinking like a child. You're literally thinking with passion, and that's what matters. It doesn't matter
Hmm.
how like how out there the idea is. Think about Chainsaw Man. It's one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever seen in the world, and
And
it
it
still
has
works because
in its peak. And
the guy
Tatsuki
did it with
Fujimoto is a
confidence.
freaking weirdo, but it works
Yeah, he is.
nonetheless.
He really and really it works because of what I said before when I pointed out that one artist which didn't render the horns. Like it's about confidence. It's about how like how deeply you love what you're doing and expressing that in a work. And then that immediately justifies the entire thing regardless of how silly it is. And honestly fan fiction is I don't really I didn't grow up making it, but or rather not necessarily because I've done certain things that kind of parallel it, but like that's an excellent vehicle for like for really putting passion into creation. Though I do urge like creating original stuff as well, at least when it comes to like actually like like a project you're dedicating a bunch of time to. But yeah.
Yeah, 100%, guys, 100%. Um, just, like taking ideas, taking inspiration from somebody else's path and grabbing that and using that as railing for you to create your own path forward. Inspiration is key. Understanding all of that is invaluable, and being able to use that to your advantage is incredible. Just sorry. It just makes the path forward so much easier because if you don't have all this you don't have inspiration and inspiration that you enjoy, it's hard to build your own path forward. It's hard to see and have rail guiding. It's hard to have guidance, because art is a mix of love, passion, individual expression, guidance, and mileage. All right, because you consistently do it, but you need guidance of where to go. Because unlike other creative skills, like piano, for example, there's only one way to learn a specific song. You do it that specific way. There's no other way to do it. All right, and bam, you're done. But with art, there's endless possibilities. So you need to have guidance for yourself. All right, and usually the best person to guide you is yourself, unless you can find a mentor or whatever, somebody to guide you for you, which I'm kind of giving you guys some guidance that I have accumulated over my life. But regardless, I had to be my own mentor to accumulate this. All this was taught by me to myself to then teach to others. All right. So I had to understand and limit my influences and be specific with who I listen to, be specific with what advice I give, what advice I internalize, and the ways I live because I'm teaching it to other people. So, those mindsets can be self-destructive if I'm not proper with how I am giving that information. Um, but yeah, it's all about that inspiration, just getting that beautiful road in front of you and taking from other amazing artists that you see like I've been taking recently from Katsuya Terada, incredible artist. He makes fire. Matter of fact, he's in my background here. If I could just get rid of all my stuff, but yeah, he's in my background here. Awesome stuff he makes. Um, and I really enjoy his art, so that is another one of my inspirations, on top of all the other artists that I look up to. Um, another great one is like Peter Hahn. Peter Hahn, he speaks in a very great way. I really appreciate his character, and him as a person has taught me a lot about this. All right, that's why I look into his courses and everything. He talks a lot about the understanding of the artist mentally and how to translate that emotional energy into a physical attribute. Physically taking that and putting it on the page is something that he has mastered. So he is giving that out to people to also try and master and understand. And the greatest teacher is someone who hopes for you to surpass them. And I think, and he has said that he wishes that. So he's
Couldn't
great.
agree more.
Yeah, he's great, bro. He's fucking fire.
Uh, um, hello.
Hey.
I have a so if so I gotta all right. I'm gonna spit it out. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, no
Take your
worries, man.
time.
So there are like, different personality types in and you experience love in different ways.
Mhm.
So, last time I was asking a question on like how do I appeal to an audience?
Yeah.
That audience is gonna experience like love in different ways. It's like visual, tactile, all that stuff. So if I were to like put that in different characters as I consider what they're gonna be like, would that be like something good or
You mean putting like
um,
the ins well the appeal of others into your character to have more mass appeal, or what do you mean by that?
I'm like thinking, yeah, not even just mass appeal, but like I'm looking at the appeal of singing people. I don't really care about like my thing appealing to the mass. I'm caring about like it hitting somewhat close to home.
I think that is about expressing yourself in a raw manner, expressing things about your life. Because if you want something to hit close to home, express your own beliefs, your own things that you experience in life, because someone may probably relate to your experience. All right. As different as we are as people in general, as unique as we all are, we oftentimes live very similar lives. So just if you want to hit close to home, then put a lot of yourself into the piece.
Yeah, I mean, if you put yourself into it, because as Grim said, as like everyone kind of, there's always a bit of parallels going on in everyone's lives. People will like definitely like see that in your work. So like definitely go for it. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yep.
no worries, man, no worries. Okay, well, I am probably gonna say a few more things and then I'm probably gonna wrap it up. We are at 3 hours, which is kind of what I planned to go for. Also, gotta go. Thank you so much for your advice. Yep, you too, Jackal. Thank you very much for joining us. It has been fire. It has been. Oh yeah, what mic am I using? I think I'm using like the Razer Kraken V3. I think it's like it's a headset microphone. You know, uh, it's aight, but like
No, it's
um,
pretty good.
oh well, thanks. It's I wanted to have something decent so y'all understand what I'm talking about, understand me. Because if I have a bad mic, it's going to be harder to conceptualize what I'm talking about, all that stuff. Um, but let's talk about some rushing, because I have that as a note as well. Rushing, the illusion of being too late. All right? They don't allow themselves time to slow down and feel and really feel it out because they're trying to move so quickly. Because of that feeling
I feel
of
called.
because of the feeling of what if it's too late, that illusion you put on yourself makes you want to rush faster. And then all of a sudden, you're skipping things. All right? There is no race. Life, as much of a race that this system that we live in puts it in, it is not a race. As I said, everyone's on their own individual path. You cannot compare yourself to another person. You can be inspired and inspire other people around you. But at the end of the day, you are your own person. You are your own soldier. You are your own temple. All right. There is no other temple like you. Okay. So you cannot rush. There is no rush to be this great thing, to be this amazing, incredible person. All right. As long as you keep it up, as long as you keep your mindset flowing, your internal cogwheels changing and shifting to absorb good information and a positive path forward, you're going to be great. But if you rush through it, you're going to skip things. You're going to not understand the full material, and you're going to feel a lot of stress and strain when you're trying to understand something that you haven't fully um, uh, learned yet. You know?
Yo, I got something to talk about.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And well, not talk about, but ask questions. And this is about finishing pieces. Like, let's
Hmm.
say I wanted to draw a bodybuilder character. And yeah, I get the gesture, I get the form, but I haven't learned anatomy yet. Do I stop drawing, or do I power through it anyway? Or do I power through it? Do I go in blindly? Do I use it as a chance to learn about anatomy? What do I do?
Um, it is. I had the perspective that there was one way about going about this, but in the past week, I have learned that it is truly up to you whether you want to finish a piece or not. It is about the own individual of whether you gain from ending this piece. For me personally, what I do, I never leave a piece unfinished almost ever. I am obligated by my own moral compass to finish it. I love finished work. I want to end what I start. All right. Sometimes that puts too much pressure on me, and I may never start the drawing in the first place. But sometimes a lot of the time, I get through that and I start a drawing and I finish it, regardless of whether I understand the concepts or not. I fail and I point out my failures and I learn from it. That's me, though. That's my way of learning. You may have a different way of learning. If you want to stop, then go ahead and stop. It is an individual preference, not a requirement. It's just me personally. I don't not finish stuff.
Oh my god, I have so much unfinished art. Oh my god.
Uh, yeah, that's why I say it's a preference. It's not a requirement. I don't want to put pressure on you to be like
I'll be
me
honest.
because you're not me.
For me, not a preference. Just a side effect.
Yeah, yeah,
So
definitely.
you um on top of unfinished art, you said like earlier this dude was talking about, working with others
Hmm.
and you must uh I'm working on my little thing with someone I know. Won't try, I'm trying not to dox them. Uh and um let's say one part, they're drawing and I'm writing, right?
Yeah.
H- How do I properly formulate what this should look like? Because like let's say I'm going for like a graphic novels like type thing, and that's like we have a specific art style that we want. How am I how are they supposed to like formulate to each other like what like the where the people are, like is it easiest to draw a base to be right next to each other and describe like the different body parts, like where you want them, or just type out like what you want them, where
Um,
you want everything to be.
I have a great solution
Depending
for
on the
this.
level of trust
Yeah.
you have with them.
Yeah, I have a. You can go if you want, but I have a good solution for this as well.
Oh, yeah, I was going to tell, depends on what is your common language with this person. If you know them basically from birth, uh,
Literally
maybe
from
you
birth.
don't need to write or draw anything at all because you kind of share the same brain. Most of the time, you just have to talk about how they prefer to work. When you're writing, writing is for people who wants to let the people who is actually drawing do the visualization and add their own stuff. Uh, so when you're scripting, you make the intent clear in your script, and you are aware that you did not master the grammar of visual language, and you let the person doing that do their thing. If you actually learned some visual language grammar before, maybe you can kind of do a dame if you do a comic book, do a storyboard if you are doing a movie or an animatic or animation shots. But it really depends on what is your shared set of skills.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because like
100%.
I have my own like little art style type thing, but this person's way miles better than me.
All right.
Yo, I
So
have a
Um.
question.
Wait,
I
wait,
Oh
got
wait,
well,
wait. Hold up,
let
hold
me
up, hold up.
answer his
Let Grim
question real
talk.
quick. Yeah, let me answer his question real quick, and then I'll get to all the other questions.
Wait,
I
I want to also chime in
all right. What?
after you.
So is it
Okay,
my
gotcha.
question first or others?
No,
No,
I'm answering
no.
the crayon dude first. My bad, bro. I think a great way is thumbnailing. You do a small little sketch of a general illustration and just like the composition of the piece, and then you can do a bunch of those and send that back and forth and be like, you know what, I like this composition, and then you can scale it up, expand it, grow on it, and you both can go back and forth and uh, appreciate that piece, build that piece up into something great based off of the thumbnailing. So you do a little small sketch, like a little box. Matter of fact, I can demonstrate like a little box here, and I can have like I don't know, a cliff here, a character here, and then they're looking, into the horizon or something. And that's a little thumbnail sketch. This I would send to somebody, and they'd be like, yeah, this is good, this is good, or no, this is bad. You know?
I wanna add that literally this is literally what is done by professionals like in comics. Like there'll be the writer writing a snippet of what he wants in a frame, and then he'll make like a little thumbnail sketch, and then the artist gets to work. This is literally like industry standard, because there are
Exactly.
people that write in comics that do not draw, and that's what they will do. The thing I wanted to say that if you can't describe things, if there's a when it comes to like building trust or rather building that pairing. Like let's say you're writing something and someone else is drawing it, and you may not have the means to really to capture what you're talking about with drawing. Try to think about emotions and try to communicate them, because if you like and that could be a great way of kind of guiding the artist in certain ways, especially if you're confident you actually know, like if you have examples. And this is why media literacy and like like going through a lot of media is very good for building up that vocabulary of how to express your emotions. Because let's say an artist, you want a warrior guy, right? And the artist makes this, like, I don't know, really big edgy guy. When you're trying to go for something more like realistic or something, or more like historically inspired, you could describe it, or you could go like, okay, so maybe or even get more specific, where you go like this armor should be more gloomy, it should be more, you know, try to think about in those terms. And then that's a great way of kind of pairing um the external, response of a suggestion, like, you want this thing to be made or something, but you're actually pairing it with an emotion, and that the other artist could actually attune to. And then that kind of builds like pairing. Like, okay, not when you say this, you actually mean this. When you say you want gloomy, you want this kind of gloomy and not that kind of gloomy. If you want this thing to look ridiculous, you want it to be more comedic rather than disturbing or any something like that. Like that's how you build pairing. If that's something you're struggling with as well.
Yeah, that's all everything I've heard. All three of y'all, that's like incredibly helpful.
By the
Y'all have
way,
no
let me
idea
just
how much
say
this
it
has
because
helped me.
and the reason I'm pointing this out is because you have a Miyazaki thing. A Miyazaki, you have the Dark Souls creator. Um,
Yeah.
but one of the most interesting things I've seen in the design works of Dark Souls is that he was telling certain artists, if you play the first game, there's the Undead Dragon. The Undead Dragon, when he pitched the idea to an artist, they made like this maggoty infested, like really disgusting looking thing. And then he said, no, 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 let's not do that, because I want you to focus more on the tragedy of this majestic creature being turned into something, like zombified, like, like a former glory that was lost. And then that led to the design we have in the game, where they look more almost sad and kind of like husks of what they once were, and they're hanging off a ledge, almost hanging a dear life. But like and it's like and it's just a corpse just hanging, like that, you know what I'm saying? And then it used to be so high, and now it's just dangling down, to hell, to like in this pit. And that's basically and that's kind of what I'm saying, because Miyazaki can't, he's not an artist, he's a director, an art director. um but he will be guiding the artist that way. There's another armor set in the game, just one last example. The Lautrec armor set, which has like these arms that are like hugging the body. Like, if you played the game, you know what I'm talking about. But he basically told the guy, when you design his armor, I want you to imagine that this person depends on his armor. Like there's like a religious significance to it, and then, like and then that kind of added cohesion throughout the entire, like, directing, because the emotions were paired. And that's how Dark Souls became such a such a uniquely uh executed game, I guess. But yeah, basically that's my rant. Sorry for the stuttering. I get a little passionate.
Nah, no worries, brother. No
Thank you.
worries. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for sharing, bro. That's awesome. And indeed. It's
Don't be
very
this guy.
insightful. Very insightful,
Uh,
brother.
I gotta
Also-
pick up a pen, start writing.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Take notes. Also, thank you for everyone for joining, and I'm rich now.
Oh,
I'm
well,
rich
you're
now.
rich? Well,
I'm
you
rich now.
actually get coins for doing this? This is
Apparently, I
crazy.
didn't even know that, bro. I thought I was doing this for, I was just doing this to do it,
Powerful.
bro. But dang,
Hell yeah,
bro.
no,
Yeah,
that's great. You
exactly,
did
bro.
great too. It's this is it, I would like I'm a good support, but when it comes to like guiding this whole, like starting this whole thing, it takes a lot of balls,
Yeah,
So
for real, bro. And I appreciate you, brother. You could, if I do another one of these, I'll have you as the host guest, bro. You can,
all
yeah, bro.
right. Look, I just wanted to because look, I was also like adding to the chaos in the chat. So and then I felt bad about it. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Let me try to let me try to like
Me
censor this
adding
a
to the
bit.
chaos of chat could never.
Yeah, bro.
Oh yeah, you fucker. Yeah, you're the one who's. Oh my god. Yeah, I remember you. You're the one that was
Father Grimm.
fa- sacrifice the 7 days, all this stuff. Oh my god.
Yeah.
They just started saying 7 days to me. I still don't know what that means.
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
pretty sure I'm gonna get like doxxed in 7 days.
Yeah, bro. It's so
Yeah,
over for
you're
you, bro.
done.
Rest in peace, bro.
Anyways, this is fun. I'm gonna go
Indeed.
as well. I'm gonna go to the other chats. But yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Thank you, brother.
hopefully, this definitely. I mean, no, it has happened because there's some people here that were going like, "Hey, this actually makes me want to draw." So it's very, that's
Yeah,
the
pick
best
up
you
the
can
pen,
ask
brother.
for,
All right,
Graham.
draw while you're listening to this, or just draw in general. It's fire, bro.
Yeah,
I want to inspire you, and as I said in my little event thing, I will have succeeded if I
absolutely.
feel like I have inspired one person in this fucking community, bro. All right, I will feel like
Ain't gonna
then I've
lie, bro.
succeeded,
I
bro.
think you
Yeah,
already succeeded.
yeah, I might have,
Can I
bro.
tell you
I
what I
feel
did?
what you did, bro.
So for the mole challenge, what I did is that you know how they used all these different things to kill the mole?
Yeah.
So what I did is that I made it so that in JJK you have to kill a thing with cursed energy or it could come back as a vegetable spirit. So then I turned it into a cursed spirit. And there's a thing called a star-nosed mole. So I
Oh
made its
shit.
Yeah,
put
yeah.
on its face a literal star, and now
Hey,
it's
JoJo
just
reference, bro.
like what's it called? Oh,
more.
now it's just disgusting,
That's
and
crazy,
it's
bro.
perfect.
That's fire, bro. That's fire. All right.
Someone's
Um.
asking for your
Oh yeah.
socials.
Socials. I'm on TikTok a little bit.
Oh,
I'm sorry, bro. I'm
oh,
sorry, but that's pretty much
all
like,
respect lost.
yeah. I
Yo,
I
where's
have
your
Hey,
like? Do you have like a portfolio or something? I need to see your art, bro.
I do not. You're gonna be disappointed.
I'm sad, bro.
uh, like
There's,
I
there's
I
a, there's
can.
a tear running down my face.
Yeah, guys, just give me like
wait,
websites to make. Actually, I have ArtStation, so I could put stuff on there, but I rarely do. Like I haven't posted since
can
like
I post
six
mine?
years.
Tee
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Just
hee.
drop it. I will look. I what kind of socials do I have? Like I might upload this. I have a video. I might upload it to my channel just as unlisted, and then I'll post it so you guys can rewatch this lesson and everything. I will also post the notes that I have put together. It's very readable and everything. If you want, you can like install Obsidian, for example, and put that
Very
into that,
readable.
and it'll make like a web for you of stuff, which is awesome. In terms of socials, I have
You gotta make one,
not,
man.
yeah, I do have to. I have to make one. Okay. What should I make it on, guys? You guys can decide.
Honestly,
Uh,
listen, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But I mean, Blue Sky is definitely a big.
Everyone
Well,
uses
no,
Instagram
okay,
nowadays.
All
okay.
right.
Blue Sky is not big, but it's a good portfolio. It's a good alternative, healthier to Twitter.
Yeah,
But
indeed it
Twitter
is.
has worked for me. Twitter has worked for me. Like I'm only big on Twitter. That's it.
All right,
All the
gotcha.
others.
There's a lot of. I'm not gonna like be the like the dude who's gonna like pull up his glasses and grab a Bible real quick. But like, there's a lot of biblical principle in this.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think you noticed.
Yeah, indeed. There's a
I'm
lot of stuff
sure.
that connects and is around. I guess I can just um
Well, there's a lot of passion in the Bible.
Oh
So,
yeah,
and we're talking about passion over here, so of course it's gonna be parallels.
yeah, exactly. Um,
Yeah. I
um,
got bullied in school.
bro, no worries, bro, no worries. I'm just
My
looking.
bad.
I have a Twitter. I don't do anything on it. I should post on it. Let me edit this real quick. Uh,
I hate Tumblr has like the worst like like the way I just get lost there every time I go there. I'm not a fan of how the pages work, but I do like how people could like um decorate their pages like a lot. There's a lot of control. That's pretty cool.
yeah, for
I'm
sure,
making a. I'm
It's
gonna
like
start working on my own Father Grimm fan art.
bro.
I
Thanks,
remember when
bro.
YouTube
Thanks.
I remember when YouTube had like the ability for you to just edit your channel to whatever, and it just lost. It's just so sad. Like a lot of oh, DeviantArt too. Oh my god, everything's just getting dumbed down these days. Ugh.
I will.
I
Okay, there we
don't.
Hey,
go. There's
Grim.
a. Yeah.
I'm gonna head out, but thank you very much for hosting.
Yeah. No problem. No
And
problem.
yeah, the video should be up at the stream and the recordings for the next 7 days if anyone missed it, or if
Yep.
you have the recording.
Yeah, I will. I will go ahead and post my recording as well, for everyone to see.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah, who's
think yeah, we're wrapping up here.
responsible for? Who's
Have you
responsible for
guys?
like the whole green March hotel? Like whose idea was this? Do you know?
I assume,
Naka,
yeah,
I'm
I
pretty
assume Naka.
sure.
Yeah, this has been like a crazy experience.
Yeah,
I've
for
like I
sure.
Yeah,
just like randomly saw it. Like I was scrolling down, I saw it, and I was like, "Yo,"
yeah.
Yeah,
and
This is like
so
a
worth.
this is a kind of like a spiritual successor to chemo, which is a thing, which is basically this same thing. Though I think this has been better. I think so far based on what I've been my experience, but but yeah, chemo basically is the same premise where you just gotta you draw every day, and then if you don't, you get kicked. And you know lot of good artists, but it used to be like a private event, and then it kind of branched off, and then it just blew up. So it's been done in private again, and and that's what inspired the creation of the March Hotel, which is basically just chemo from last year essentially. That's the lore. That's the lore, the item description.
Is the March hotel like only a March thing, or is it going to be like you can
It's
only
only
join
March.
in
yeah. It's
March?
only in March.
It's a whole
The
it's a
headcanon I have is that it literally only exists in the month of March. Like it only has an address and a mailbox in the month of March. It just
yeah.
disappears from existence the moment it hits April 1st.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that's literally how chemo was, because chemo gets deleted right after you like after it ends. I'm pretty sure
I
it
might actually cry.
This server won't be deleted. The challenge channels will like in the archive. If they're going to the archive, they'll probably be deleted later if this keeps going for like a few more years. Because I think we have like a Discord limit of 500 channels.
Oh, gotcha.
But the daily posts will persist, and the server will just be dormant like Chromacore at
Okay.
the end of March. So yeah, and there'll be like a channel for the lifeboat servers to go out, so people can like stay friends with who they meet in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next year, if I don't hear anything about March hotel, I'm going to cry. Real tears will stream down my face.
Well, for real, bro.
Yeah. This is a great event, bro. This is fire. This is awesome.
So
It's
it's
so
been a
much fun.
blast,
Yeah.
Like I've
and
never
it's
been part
only
of like
like
an event
day
like
three,
this.
day
It's like
four.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro,
Um.
it literally video gamified art, and I love it.
Exactly, bro.
Oh, that's
Exactly.
great. No,
Yeah.
actually, it's fucking awesome that you're enjoying it. Cause I mean, I'm not familiar with your work, but I'm guessing that you're relatively new to it based on what you were saying before about like the project you were working on with a friend. Hello, did he
Nope.
leave?
I
Oh
don't
my
think
god, did he
so.
leave?
Oh, who are you talking to?